Brentwood got a crash blocking the right lane, 65 southbound at Old Hickory Boulevard. Then on the west loop downtown, left lane blocked by a crash, 40 westbound near I-65. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. Welcome in. It is the Matt Murphy Radio Show underway for another day. Happy to have you with us. It is just after 3 o'clock, 3:06 to be precise, Wednesday, September 24, 2025. It is our episode 891 of these gatherings together, and I've enjoyed just about every single one of them. It's also day 251 of the Trump second administration, 47 in progress. That's 251 out of 1460.5. I love giving those numbers out just to freak the lefties that like to listen to the show out just a little bit. We invite you to be a part of the show in any way of your choosing. You can hit us up on the phone lines. You can hit us up on the super text line. Always up and running, always available for you. I absolutely adore talking to folks on the phone lines, every single one of you, even if we disagree. As a matter of fact, disagreement goes to the front of the line. 615-737-9986 is that telephone number. 615-737-9986. That's also the super text line, and you may utilize that in order to get in contact with the show. You can also hit us up on social media platforms, mostly, for the most part, at Matt Murphy Show for yours truly, at Matt Murphy Show. You can find Super Talk 99.7 WTN in a lot of different places as well. And if you're listening on your radio right now, 99.7, we appreciate that. 100,000 watts, blowtorch power from Alabama to Kentucky and all points in between. But really, take us wherever you go by going to TuneIn or Spotify or iHeart or our own app, Supertalk 99.7 WTN, in your app store. Download the app there, and you can find out more about us, what we do, and you can find out you can take us anywhere you want to go with your smartphone technology. Then there's Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. For you masochists in the listening audience that wonder, man, that Murphy, he's got some pipes. He has some mellifluous tones coming out of this radio. I wonder what he looks like. You don't want to know, but if you must, go over to Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble, and you'll probably do a lot of those things. You'll probably Rumble and Twitch and Twitter a little bit, and then you'll probably go right back to the radio. At least that's what I would do. But one way or the other, we appreciate you over there. The live chat on the YouTube side is raucous, as always. We appreciate y'all. Just give us the old thumbs up, like, subscribe, whatever you do on the platform of your choosing to signal approval. Please signal said approval, and we thank you for your attention to this matter. Behind the glass is young Ken Weaver. He joins us from time to time delivering headlines. He oftentimes joins us just to chit-chat with us, and now's one of those times. Hello, Ken.
How about you boys? Yes.
What's going on, Weaver?
I'm just writing up news.
Busy day.
Writing up news,
Crazy
yeah.
day.
I got doing a story here. Apparently, they've identified. You remember that story? They found that body, skeletal remains behind that McDonald's.
I do.
Over there, I think it was in the Madison area.
I do remember that.
They identified those remains. I'm going to have that for you coming up 3:30.
I can't wait on that story. I mean, well, I'll have to, but I will look forward to that story, at least to draw some conclusion for those folks who have been impacted by this. Young Jackson Williams behind the glass. Jay Willie, we call him. Action Jackson. Sometimes Fraction Jackson if he's not doing his job appropriately. One way or the other, we don't call him late for dinner. Hello, Jackson.
Hey, bud. How you doing?
I feel like I just talked to you for the last 30 minutes or so.
We did.
Hey, how about this, Ken? How about, Cameron Smith had an appointment, could not be at the taping of our podcast, All the Best Words. Guess who filled in?
Brother Jackson.
Jackson Williams.
Way to go, Brother Jackson.
Did a sports edition of All the Best Words.
All right.
I looked at it like, the Trivial Pursuit game back in the day. You had the Trivial Pursuit, and then you had the Trivial Pursuit Sports Edition, Trivial Pursuit, 80s edition. Well, This was the All the Best Words Sports Edition.
All right.
I think it was a very interesting conversation.
Very insightful, Jackson. I don't like you in that setting because I feel like I have a little too much respect for you. It makes me uncomfortable.
The roles were reversed. Normally,
Makes me
you
uncomfortable.
know so much more than me.
That's true. That's very true.
I feel like I could kind of.
Well, you've got. I mean, I don't pretend to have this intimate level of knowledge that you have on the foosball, Jackson.
Bobby Boucher, that's the devil.
Ken, are you doing all right? Speaking of foosball,
Yeah, I'm doing fine, man.
you're doing okay. How long? 3 weeks, 4 weeks? What are we talking about?
It's probably going to be, conservatively speaking, I'm saying 4 weeks.
He'll be back for Bama, right?
He'll be back for
Certainly for Bama. Yeah.
South Carolina.
Okay.
Hopefully, he's better November 2nd.
What in the world? What in the world? Now, for those new to the show, if you're a newbie out there, hello and welcome. Come on in. Water's fine. You'll be okay. Just spend. I like to say, spend about a week with us before you judge us. We grow on you like a virus.
Oh, we do.
Or a fungus. And then you're hooked. But Ken Weaver is an Oklahoma Sooner fan. I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. Go Dogs. And Jackson is our resident Tennessee Vol.
Yes, and Tennessee and Oklahoma play November 1st.
Yes, sir.
So John Mateer will be better. He will be miraculously healed November 2nd.
By the way, just a little preview on the All the Best Words. You know what my word was? It had to do with SEC football.
What was it?
The word was attrition.
Ooh, yeah. We're gonna eat each other up, man.
It has become a war of attrition in the SEC.
Yeah.
My goodness gracious.
Yeah.
And that 9-game schedule is not going to help anything.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I know we're going to play Texas, Missouri, and Ole Miss.
That makes sense.
Every year.
Wait,
I wanted LSU.
Ole Miss?
Yeah. I wanted LSU, Missouri, and Texas.
Huh.
Because I don't know, man. I love playing LSU.
Do you?
Well, I got to have a chance to beat them. They've beaten us. They've beaten us 3 straight times.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, look, not every team's going to be in the upper tier for all time. I mean, obviously. So, sometimes we get caught up in the moment and don't look at the long range thing. But yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, Texas is obvious.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. A lot of money.
And what? Ole Miss?
Ole Miss and Missouri.
Mizzou, I guess, feels
That's
right
a good
to me.
team.
You better look out for them.
Oh, there's no, and it feels like the committee wanted to keep those state rivalries going on.
Yes.
So if you were like the Georgia-South Carolina deal, I think it was never going to be Georgia-Kentucky because there's a state in between Georgia and Kentucky. They want to keep that contiguous nature of the rivalries.
Yes.
It feels like.
Yeah.
Who Tennessee get again there, Jason?
Vanderbilt, Kentucky, and Alabama.
Why'd you laugh? You kind of giggled when you said Kentucky. Did you almost say Kentucky? You
did.
almost said Kentucky, didn't you?
I did. That's, if the shoe fits.
You got to look out for them cats.
I'm not scared of a cat.
I'm not scared of the cat at our house. I'm a little bit scared of the cat when we go to, what is that, Kroger Field?
That's Kroger Field,
Yeah.
yes,
Oh,
sir.
yeah, the mighty fortress of college football, Kroger Field.
Look, I don't know. We can't score over 20 points in Kroger Field. I don't know why, but we can't. I mean, we keep winning the games, but we win them 12 to. I mean, we won last year. I think it was 13 to 12.
I feel like Tennessee so often gets Kentucky after they've been beaten down by the rest of the SEC. Like they've played Georgia, they've played another high-quality SEC opponent, and then they have to play Tennessee, and it's just never really
competitive.
I'm just never that concerned. I'm much more worried about Vanderbilt than I am Kentucky
Vanderbilt.
at this point.
Whoo, I'm telling you, boys.
Y'all need to worry about Vanderbilt.
I'm not. I mean, we got them in Neyland, so I'm not super concerned about either. But
don't let it go to overtime.
Just don't make sure we get it on the right hash if we have to kick a field goal at the end of the game.
I apologize to all of you Tennessee Volunteer fans. I know there's a lot of you in the listening audience. That one was not directed at you. That was not a shot at you. It was directly a shot at Jackson. And I think the shot landed. Thank you very much.
Right in the heart.
All right, so that's a little bit of sports on the News Talk radio station. So, and a lot of you Vandy folks. Vandy people are getting loud.
Absolutely.
And proud.
They're getting chesty.
I'm looking at the super text line, and there's a lot of them over there.
Yes, sir.
I
My
gave them their
gracious.
respect.
They all respect due.
They're not coming into Neyland and winning a football game.
You're 4-0. You'll be 5-0 when you go. I mean, look, a couple of weeks from now, we're gonna ask you to put your big boy britches on. We're gonna see how big of a boy you are.
How big old boy are you?
How big a boy are you when you go down there to Bryant-Denny Stadium and take on them Crimson Tiders? Them elephants.
I tell you, that coach for Vandy, he has changed the culture there. I mean, and I think that quarterback,
Coach Lee, is that his Coach
I think
Lee?
so.
That's right, Coach Lee.
But that Diego Pavia, man, I mean, it's just everybody. That Vanderbilt team's got a different vibe.
Most people don't realize this. Most people don't know this, Ken. The Diego Pavia fellow?
Yes, sir.
5 foot 2 inches tall. Most people don't know that. 5'2".
Yes.
I mean, a little midget fella running around there playing football. 5 foot 2 inches tall. What?
He is not. Man.
He's 5'2".
Don't say that word.
Oh, I can't say the M word?
Yeah.
Okay. Dwarf? Can I call him a dwarf?
Just call him a shorty.
Little person?
A shorty.
We don't want no short people around here. The little bitty arms and the little bitty legs. What was that Randy Newman song?
Yes.
Yeah, 5 foot 2 inches tall. I mean, most people don't realize that, but he is a itty bitty tiny fella. Y'all go back and look. He scored a touchdown earlier this year. Ran through a fella's legs. Just ran right through his legs. Guy was standing there. He didn't even squat.
Good. Get him a stepladder to slap the sign on the way to the locker room.
That's right. Play like a champion today.
He's from Albuquerque.
They don't make very tall people in Albuquerque.
Don't they?
No.
Well, it's all the math.
Oh, no.
It's all the math.
Are you?
They stunt their growth out there. All right. So that really is Sports on the News Talk Station on Super Talk 99.7 WT. No, TB, he's a winner. I'm kidding. Y'all don't get. Oh, boy. I just happened to look over. Y'all don't come at me. Haters are motivators, y'all. I'm a hater. I'm a motivator. Haters are motivators. I don't want none. This Bulldog doesn't want none. Bama don't want none.
Somebody's going to drop an anchor on that little fat bulldog.
Hit his little paw. They're going to drop it right on his little paw. Aren't they? Oh, I get to pick about Vanderbilt. It's all fun and games until Vanderbilt somehow gets to the SEC championship game. Man, can you imagine what Vandy fans will be doing? They won't even know what to do with themselves. If they beat Bama in Tuscaloosa, can you imagine that?
If that happens, DeBoer might be in trouble.
He's already in trouble.
I have it.
And he lives in Tuscaloosa, so he's white trash and he's in trouble.
Oh, well, I think regardless of what happens in the Georgia game, but particularly if they lose in Athens, which I don't know that I would like to say that there's no disrespect in that. But he does that and then loses to Vanderbilt? Yeah, I don't know that he makes it past this season. He might make it to the end, but I don't know that he makes it past. Anyway.
Again, that's sports on...
Again, that's sports on the News Talk Station. Fellas, keep talking about them doors. Hey, Matt, the Kentucky Wildcats will be great when they figure out how to dribble that football. That's a funny one. That's old. That is an old school joke right there. That is a dad joke. That is good.
You remember?
This is cute. 5354 says, just call him a micro QB.
Like a micro USB?
Yeah, like a micro QB. A little micro.
Pocket-sized.
Little pocket-sized QB. Touchdown. Touchdown. Commodores. Anchor down. That's the way I imagine that Diego Pavia talks. He wore that little bow tie at SEC Media Days, y'all. All right, so I'm sort of halfway avoiding this conversation because it is just another example of awfulness in America and leftist violence in America. And I can't believe that we're still debating whether or not the person that shot Charlie Kirk was a political leftist. Every piece of evidence points to the fact that he was that he had been corrupted by the political left, that he had taken on the identity of the political left, that he believed in the leftist talking points, that Charlie Kirk was a hater, was a racist, was a phobe of any sort and fashion, and he decided to, quote unquote, stop his hate. His words, not my words. So I can't imagine why we would continue to be debating this point, except, that whatever, Jimmy Kimmel and his ilk co-opted the conversation to their own design and made themselves victims. As I said, it's fascinating to me. The political left can use language that ultimately inspires insane people to do things that are not just aggressive against a political position or a political party or an affiliation or a movement or an ideology that is against them. Not just aggressively arguing against them, but committing violent acts to include murder, an assassination of someone. These leftists inspire these insane individuals to commit such acts, and somehow they make themselves the victim in all of this. So I'm not going to feed these trolls, and I don't pretend that I'm doing it right and anybody else is doing it wrong. I'm not going to pretend to you that they're doing it wrong and I'm doing it right, or they're doing it right and I'm doing it wrong. I'm telling you that my gut informs me, and I try to live based on my intuition, my wits and my intuition and the intellect that God gave me and the wisdom of being on planet Earth for 52 years, that we are feeding the trolls when we feed this Jimmy Kimmel story, and I'm done with it. Nobody watched a Jimmy Kimmel 3 or 4 weeks ago. The only time that we ever talk about Jimmy Kimmel is when he says something ridiculous and out of bounds. Mostly it's about Republicans, conservatives, MAGA folk, or Donald Trump. He said something that was obviously out of bounds and ill thought, and I'm not going to talk about it because I don't care about it. And I don't think you do either. The Disney folks got bullied by their own people. I would expect that it was always the plan to bring him back at some point because they don't want to get sued by Kimmel. Ultimately, Kimmel's contract is up in the middle of the year next year, and I would not be surprised at all if it doesn't get renewed. And that doesn't have anything to do with Donald Trump. And Stephen Colbert did not have anything to do with Donald Trump. Of course they did not. Now, Donald Trump doesn't like them, and Donald Trump considers them to be enemies, and so Donald Trump's not going to say nice things about them. But if Donald Trump was the guy that got Jimmy Kimmel sidelined, why is Jimmy Kimmel not still sidelined? Remember, that was their narrative beforehand. So this is what I'll say about it, and it's all that I'll say about it. Jimmy Kimmel, I do not believe that Jimmy Kimmel cares about people dying because of the language being used on the political left. If he did, he would say something about it. He would say something about it, and he doesn't. Anything that happens, it sadly becomes all about him. And that is the nature of Hollywood. That is the nature of Hollywood. All right, so we have this story, obviously, out of Texas. Not that I care that much, but I do want to get it right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll figure out how to. I'm going to ask Ken Weaver how to say this dude's name in just a moment. Joshua, is it Jan? Are we going with Jan? Are we going with John?
I've been saying Jean.
Jean.
But it could be Jan.
Jahn. I'm going to do what Ken Weaver does in these circumstances because Ken is most often correct. Joshua, John or Jan? Jean. Killed one person, wounded 2 others, and took his own life firing on a Dallas Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility. We'll talk about it next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Oh, my goodness, friends. The Tennessee Sleep Apnea and TMJ Solution Center want to talk with you. Dr. Brian McLaughlin is so good at what he does in Murfreesboro and Brentwood. And what I want you to do is go over to the TennesseeSleep.com website and let them know that we sent you over there. If you're not sleeping well at night and you don't know why, it's possible it could be sleep apnea. Do you snore at all? If you snore at all, you need to get a sleep test done. Talk to Dr. Brian McLaughlin about how to make that happen. Then, if they determine, like they did with me, that you have mild to moderate sleep apnea, there is a solution for you. An FDA-approved oral device fits directly in the mouth, and it is custom made for your mouth, for your teeth. I have one at home. That's for me, not for you, for me. And you'll have one as well. It holds the jaw gently forward. It allows the airway to stay open throughout the course of the night. You breathe throughout the course of the night. You don't snore anymore. And it solves the health-related issues that come with sleep apnea. Friends, this is a game changer. If you can't wear the hose, if you wouldn't consider the mask, and I'm right there with you, you need to call Dr. Brian McLaughlin and the Tennessee Sleep Apnea and TMJ Solution Center. Go to TennesseeSleep.com. That's TennesseeSleep.com.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We've got some more showers and thunderstorms in the neighborhood. Full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Shots fired outside an ICE facility in Dallas today. Police say the suspected shooter opened fire from an elevated position and that he died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. 3 people shot, 2 of them died. More from ABC's Aaron Katursky.
The authorities say a sniper took a position on a rooftop, fired into a sally port, but seemed to fire indiscriminately, according to ICE. So we're not sure any particular individuals were targeted, and the 3 people that were shot the Department of Homeland Security says were detainees, were undocumented immigrants in custody of ICE.
And again, 2 of them died. FBI Director Kash Patel released images of recovered unspent shell casings, including one engraved with the phrase anti-ICE. The killer identified as 29-year-old Joshua Jahn, Jahn, which the Hindustan Times reports public records show was a registered independent who cast his final ballot in November of 2024. Meanwhile, here in Nashville, Channel 4's Lydia Fielder.
We now know who the person was, whose remains were found behind a McDonald's on Dickerson Pike. 68-year-old Michael Allen's body was discovered wrapped in a blanket in a shed along a wooded area back in August. Police say Allen's remains had been there for some time. The medical examiner says there are no signs of foul play in his death.
Also in Nashville, a person has been taken into custody for allegedly impersonating a nurse at Ascension St. Thomas Hospital. According to a report from Fox 17, the station received a tip indicating the individual had entered patients' rooms. In a statement, Ascension confirmed that an unauthorized person attempted to access a patient's prescribed medication. Hospital staff intervened. The individual was arrested. The hospital also noting that it has implemented additional security measures in response to this incident. 2 incidents that are part of a wave of new social media challenges. Prosecutors in Pennsylvania filing charges. Here's ABC's Elizabeth Schulze.
Prosecutors say the teen was driving in a parking lot when his friend, 17-year-old David Nagy, who was sitting on the table, was killed. In a separate case in Pennsylvania, a 19-year-old is accused of aggravated assault. Prosecutors claim she drove her car while her friend stood on the trunk as part of another social media challenge. The friend fell and suffered permanent brain damage.
That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Got a crash on I-40 westbound at Hermitage Avenue. Then over here on the West Loop downtown, accident blocking the left lane 40 westbound near 65. In Brentwood, the right lane of 65 southbound blocked by a crash at Old Hickory Boulevard. And in Laverne, there's a crash 24 eastbound at Waldron Road. I'm Ken Weaver.
Around here, everybody knows Genesis Diamonds is the go-to place when it comes to jewelry, especially bridal jewelry. Genesis owns the engagement ring market. Why? One, they have the most incredible selection you've ever seen. When you walk into Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills, or Cool Springs, you'll see more diamonds than you've ever seen in your life. And they have a price point for every budget. They have something for every taste. They have something for that loved one that you're about to pop the question to. So, gentlemen, I mean, there's one place to shop. Now, know this. They don't work on commission, so they're not trying to sell you anything in particular. They're just trying to find out what your budget is, what you're looking for specifically, and then they will lead you in the right direction. Don't worry, they'll feed you, baby birds. No other store, online or in person, can give you the selection that you find at Genesis Diamonds. Don't forget, in addition to being the leader in engagement rings, Genesis is also where you'll find incredible pendants, bands, bracelets, necklaces, colored gemstones, earrings, all at the best prices in Middle Tennessee and beyond. It's Genesis Diamonds. Hands down, they are simply the best. With the transparency you want, the respect you deserve, the price you deserve, and the value that you're looking for. It's all at Genesis Diamonds. Green Hills and Cool Springs. Learn more at genesisdiamonds.com. Friends, Matt Murphy for the Tennessee Men's Clinic. Gentlemen, I want to talk to you, and I know that it's a personal subject, but have you discovered that while you still have the want to when it comes to intimacy with your loved ones, you don't have, or your loved one, you don't have the can do? It can wreck your confidence. It can impact your relationship, your mental health, and even your sense of identity. But there's good news. There's real help available and has been since 2014. The Tennessee Men's Clinic has helped thousands of men get back to feeling like themselves. First in Midtown, then in Cool Springs, now in Clarksville. No matter where you are in Middle Tennessee, expert care is close by. These are not cookie-cutter treatments either. Tennessee Men's Clinic is urology-based, and they're staffed with qualified, licensed providers who specialize in men's sexual health. They want to talk with you. They want to sit down with you. They use proven treatments tailored to your specific situation, never any one-size-fits-all approach. So whether you're dealing with mild to moderate ED or other types of issues from a performance perspective or even conditions, their medical team can work with you to create a plan that gets results. That's what it's all about. And there's no shame in that. Let's get with the program. Let's get back in the game, men, with the Tennessee Men's Clinic. 615-208-9090 to schedule an appointment at either location. 208-9090 or online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. That's TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN, 38 minutes after the hour. Coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, we expect to talk with Cam Higbee, who is a part of an organization that has been making the rounds. You know, right after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, Cam and his group began making rounds across the United States of America in his honor, going to college campuses around the U.S. and sitting down with a folding table and some signs and trying to debate people on a variety of issues. Cam is well, I'll let him talk about his journalistic background, but he's working with this organization. And sadly, he was treated shabbily at Tennessee State University. And sadly, Tennessee State University has not responded in a way that is forthcoming or honest. And we're going to talk with him about that coming up in the next hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. He is with a group called Fearless Debates, and we'll get some of your reaction from that as well. In the meantime, Joshua Jean killed one person and wounded two others. Some are asking, well, how do you know what his political affiliation was? Well, they're writing them right on the bullets, so it's not that difficult to figure it out. Right there on the shell casings. Not that difficult to figure it out. Sources familiar with the investigation, this, according to Fox News, says that the Dallas immigration facility shooting, the shooter was identified as Joshua Jean, 29 years of age. The gunman killed two detainees, injured another, after opening fire on a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility from a nearby building before taking his own life. The detainee who survived was hospitalized in critical condition. According to authorities earlier today, Jean fired indiscriminately at the ICE building. In other words, he was not aiming at anyone in particular. He was just randomly firing into the building, according to authorities, as well as a van at the Sallyport where the victims were shot. The Department of Homeland Security said the three detainees were in an unmarked transport when they were shot before Jean took his own life around 7 o'clock in the morning. He was found dead with a rifle on a nearby rooftop. Wednesday's shooting happened only miles from Alvarado, Texas, where just 2 months ago an individual ambushed a separate ICE facility targeting officers. In total, 16 people have been charged with the ambush-style shooting of an Alvarado police officer who was responding to reports of vandalism at the facility. Kash Patel, writing on the X platform, said, "These despicable, politically motivated attacks against law enforcement are not a one-off. It has to end, and the FBI and our partners will lead these investigative efforts to ensure that those who target law enforcement are pursued and brought to the fullest extent of justice." Obviously, anytime there is violence of any sort, you want to root it out and you want to get to the core of it. Oh, yeah, did I say one dead? If I did, I apologize. 2 dead?
Yes, sir.
2 dead.
3 dead, including the shooter.
And you're right. 2 dead, absent the shooter. 3 dead if you include the shooter in the dead. So I apologize if I said 1. I'm transposed the numbers. Why are so many on the political left determined to stop us from talking about some of the motivations of individuals when they don't like where the narrative takes them? They are perfectly willing to talk about the motivations of individuals, and I am too, by the way. I'm willing to talk about the motivation of the Minnesota shooter who shot and killed a politician, Melissa Hortman, and her husband, and attempted to take the lives of others there. As far as we know, this individual was targeting Democrats. I've not heard specifically what his motivation was beyond targeting Democrats, but that's obviously wrong. And we will say so loudly and clearly. That as much as I hate the ideas of Democrats, I don't hate Democrats. As much as I hate what they stand for, I don't hate them. And I'm not going to depersonalize this matter in a way where you will. As much as I believe that people like Jasmine Crockett are anti-American, or Elizabeth Warren, or Kamala Harris, or Chuck Schumer, or whatever, I do not believe that they present the values that make America great. But I have never denied them the opportunity to express their values, nor have I wanted to deny the individuals that vote for them the opportunity to go back to the polls and vote for these knuckleheads yet again. And you get what you vote for, that sort of thing. I've never shied away from talking about these issues because individuals perhaps have been radicalized in some cases by the political right. Those individuals, we need to talk about their motivations too. So when Dylan Roof happens, we talk about it and we condemn it universally. When the Buffalo shooting, remember and I choose these 2 racially motivated attacks. Dylan Roof's attack in Charleston, South Carolina was a racially motivated attack. He targeted a black church, and it was awful. It was horrific. His diseased racist mind led him to that place. Someone's diseased mind led him to a rooftop this morning in Dallas, Texas. What I did not hear in the days leading up to the Dylan Roof attack, I did not hear commentators on Fox News or on Newsmax or on any of the Alphabet Soup networks talking about black people in a fashion that might have inspired Dylan Roof to act in the manner that he did. I don't know what his ultimate inspiration was, but whomever inspired him, it was wrong. And it's gross. And we loudly declare that. The Buffalo shooter, whose name I have thankfully forgotten, the individual that walked into the Tops grocery store and specifically targeted black people for killing, it is evil incarnate. Understand the difference. What I did not hear in the days and weeks leading up to that on national media networks, on talk radio, or anywhere else were people dehumanizing black individuals in a way that might lead this person to believe in their warped madness that what they were doing was permissible. What I do hear today, Immigration and Customs Enforcement being described as Nazis, as SS, as Gestapo over and over and over again. The point ought to be simple to those with ears that choose to hear. This type of dehumanization, this dehumanizing language about Charlie Kirk, about an immigration and customs official, it needs to stop. Now, in a freedom-loving country, in a country that values freedom over security, and we should, that values the ability to speak freely about these matters, and that allows for relative anonymity on social media platforms, you're never going to get rid of all of this evil. You're never going to get rid of all of this madness. And there is plenty of madness to go around on all sides of the political spectrum in the online platforms of which I speak. But that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about those dark places on the internet where people can go and have their madness fed to them, have their evil regurgitated to them. We know that those places exist. What we are talking about are elected officials and people in media circles with journalistic credentials regurgitating the language that leads some, we believe, to commit these atrocities because the individuals they're committing them against have been dehumanized to the point that they don't have a value of life for these people. See Charlie Kirk. Does that make sense to everyone? It's a central difference. This is not a matter of whataboutism. This is a matter of the political left using specific language that I believe is a hall pass to the mad, to the criminally insane. Why wouldn't they see it that way? 615-737-9986 is the telephone number. James is in Lebanon. Hello, James.
Hey, bud. First of all, trying to find a Democrat that loves America is like finding a Tootsie Roll in a septic tank. I don't understand them for the life of me.
I like that. It might be there, but you got to dig through a lot of poop to get to it. I like that. Yeah.
But I have Democratic friends, and I've said and they're Christian. Now, in my little world, how you can be a Christian and be a Democrat is beyond my realm of thought. But when you look at all of you was talking about the two that shot the blacks, I point blank condemn those guys. First of all, you don't need to be shooting nobody. I don't care. Homosexuals, white, black, doesn't matter. But 98% of these morons out there are mentally handicapped, and the problem is, and it goes with the Christian right too. We here over the last 10, 15 years have tried to pad them into being normal citizens. The world has tried to teach you, and why? I'll tell you what. Let's go this way. Why do we not why do we put grown men in prison for jumping on a child? Because it's sick. And when we can't okay bad behavior, whether it's thievery, it's in the Bible, whether it's adultery, it's in the Bible, but it also is in the Bible that homosexuality is condemned. There's no gray area. You can read it in the Bible, in the King James Version, and you're not going to be confused. It says it. Now, just because Schumer, Schiff, Pelosi, Crockett, and old horsehead AOC wants to try to make light of it, That doesn't mean that people with good sense has to agree with it or shy away from it. Well, I don't want to. It is wrong. Period. It's wrong. And you are allowing these people out there without, and I don't want to condemn them, but they need help. They need help. And we're not giving them help because we're condoning it. We're condoning it by allowing it to happen. And that's where our country has gone. Even the Republicans have gone so far left by just okaying it or shying away from it, or there's even pastors.
Well, I mean, this
is
is probably not going to. I mean, James, I just have to tell you where I'm at on it. These are matters that need to be handled by the church, and the church has abdicated a lot of its responsibility. I don't think these are matters that need to be handled by the government.
Oh, no. Don't get me. No, and I'll be exactly what you said, because I won't say who it was, but I went to a big church in Mount Juliet one time. Loved the pastor. Loved him. Was there about 6 or 7 years. And if the man listens to your radio station, he going to know who I'm talking about. I asked him one time, after 6 or 7 years, I just went up to him and I said, how come I've never heard you preach on the sins of abortion or gay lifestyle? And here's his answer. Well, we have a diverse church. We have a large church here. We just don't. And he was more or less telling me I don't want to rock the boat. That's not a church. And I left instantly.
Well, and that's probably the right thing to do. James, I appreciate the telephone call and the perspective. I got to scoot. I'm sorry that I do, but it's 53 after the hour, and I'm late. It's Super Talk 99.7 WT, and more calls on the way. 615-737-9986. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for U.S. Pest. U.S. Pest is the one-stop shop that I would recommend for all things pest control in your life. You know, a lot of times, and people do this, and I would suggest do it wrong, that when the summertime ends and you know, the fleas and the ticks, they start coming in the house, right? They want to get out from the yard because the cooler conditions have come along. Sadly, the folks, they oftentimes will cancel their pest control over the winter. This is the wrong way to do things because your house is threatened from underneath. It's threatened in the walls. The bugs are still there. They're simply not visible on the outside, but they're there on the inside. You need to protect the house. Health hazards exist in your walls, and you need to get rid of them through U.S. Pest, whether it's termite control, whether it's spiders and roaches and the rest of the just nonsense, creepy, crawly bugs that I can't stand. You let U.S. Pest handle it. They'll give you a free consultation when you make the call. If you're using someone else and you're not satisfied, allow U.S. Pest to tell you the U.S. Pest difference. I absolutely love that. J.K. and Erica Brister can help. USPest.com, that's USPest.com, or give them a call today at 590-1260, 590-1260.
4 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Just getting some breaking news alerts here. Reports say President Trump is expected to sign a deal tomorrow that will keep TikTok operating in the U.S. Meanwhile, an investigation's underway into the deadly shooting at an ICE facility in Dallas, Texas. Department of Homeland Security officials now say 3 detainees were shot. 2 are dead. While there's still no official motive for the shooting, the FBI says one of the unspent shell casings recovered at the scene was engraved with the phrase anti-ICE. Here's ABC's Aaron Katursky with more.
The authorities were clear they did not know the specific motive. We're told they now have a name that they are working with. They're digging into this individual's background as we speak, tracing places where the individual may have lived after the shooter was found dead of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound on the rooftop position from which he fired.
The killer has been identified as 29-year-old Joshua Jahn. That's Jahn, which the Hindustan Times reports public records show was a registered independent who cast his final ballot in November of 2024. So what are leading Democrats like House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries saying about the level of political violence across the spectrum in this country?
Leadership that brings people together, not national leadership that tears people apart.
He doesn't name any names. A federal lawsuit has been filed by relatives of the victims of the January mid-air collision between an American Airlines regional jet and an Army helicopter. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
The wrongful death lawsuit alleges the government was negligent in the cruise operation of the Army helicopter and in the FAA's failure to keep the Black Hawk separate from the regional jet. But attorney Bob Clifford says American Airlines and regional carrier PSA are to blame, too.
There's a corporate negligence and accountability that existed for a long time before that fateful night.
The lawsuit claims the airlines have crammed arrivals into a crowded D.C. airspace that's known for near misses. It accuses the carriers of failing to properly train their pilots. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Yeah, both aircraft crashed into the frigid waters of the Potomac, killing 67 people. And the family of Kevin Rodriguez Zavala is demanding answers and a full investigation after he died after a ride at Universal Studios in Orlando. Attorney Ben Crump is representing the family and says even though Zavala was wheelchair bound, he had no condition that would have excluded him from riding amusement park rides and rode them all the time before with no incident.
We want to be clear, unequivocally clear, that he had no medical emergency. He was just fine.
Zavala died earlier this month while riding the Stardust Racer, and park officials said the ride was operating normally. Zavala was pronounced dead at the hospital. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, got a crash blocking the left lane, 40 eastbound near Charlotte Avenue. And police activity in Murfreesboro right now. TDOT showing it at 24 eastbound and Church Street. Then Hadley Park, the left lane, blocked by a crash, 40 westbound before Jefferson Street. South Nashville, 40 westbound at Hermitage Avenue. Brentwood, TDOT reporting a crash blocking the right lane, 65 southbound at Old Hickory Boulevard. And in Smyrna, Highway Patrol reporting a crash, 24 eastbound between Sam Ridley and Almaville Road. In Brentwood, a crash, Old Hickory Boulevard and Franklin Pike. And then over by the airport, injury crash reported 40 westbound near Donaldson Pike. Back to Laverne now, police reporting a crash, 24 eastbound approaching Waldron Road. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Matt Murphy. This is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. It is 4:07, almost 4:08. Thank you for being around this hour. We've got 4 full hours of the radio show tonight, and we appreciate you spending a little bit of time with us. Whatever time you're able to give us, I thank you for that. 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. If you'd like to make a comment, you'd like to talk with us, you'd like to get something off your chest, we take all comers. I absolutely love taking telephone calls, talking with you. We're anticipating a conversation with Cam Higbee of the Fearless Debate folks who were in town at Tennessee State University and were not welcomed, sadly. We hope to have that conversation in the next couple of minutes. So we're trying to hook that up. Cam was supposed to call us at about 4:05. He's on the road, so I did not have a backup number for him. So if he didn't call us, I don't know what to do with it. But we had scheduled this for 4:05 CT Central Time, and I confirmed that with him. So hopefully Cam will give us a call, and we will get hooked up. They were on the campus of Tennessee State yesterday. We became aware of this late in the show, and they were run off campus. And the Tennessee State University statement about this is a lie. I mean, it's a lie. And and I don't use that term lightly. What is a lie? Have you ever thought about that? I mean, one can make a mistake and not be lying. If I say that it's current, if I just came in from outside and it was raining and young Jackson and Ken Weaver are here and they say, "Hey, Murphy, what's going on?" And I say, "Oh, it's raining outside." And they look out and it has stopped between the time that I came in and the time that they look outside. Have I lied to them about it raining, or was I mistaken? A mistake is not a lie. A lie is saying something that you know not to be true at the time that you say it. That is my definition of a lie. It's very simple. A lie is saying something that you know not to be true at the time that you say it. A lie involves recognition. And I believe the Tennessee State University spokespeople that put out this ridiculous statement yesterday about the activities that went on campus, you can tell us that it's not permissible for people to come on campus without checking in with you. You can talk about demonstrations and protest all you want. That's not what these kids were doing. You can talk about anything and everything that you want regarding campus safety. But don't look at me and lie to me and tell me that the students on campus acted in a respectful manner when we have it on video that they most certainly did not act in a respectful way. Hopefully, and I'm going to put off sharing some of this with you in the hopes that Cam gives us a call. And I'm a little bit dependent on him only because we don't have a backup number for him. So Cam Higbee hopefully will be here. He is with he works for a number of different organizations. This is something that he's doing with a couple of individuals. Let me see. It's called Fearless Debates. Come on. Where are you at? What are you doing there? Oh, there it is. It's called Fearless Debates. And earlier today, Representative Andy Ogles spoke out about it. He got wind of it, hopefully based on our conversation from yesterday, and asks, why is Tennessee State University not condemning the attack against Cam Higbee and the Fearless Debate Group? A rigorous debate can't happen on college campuses. Why are we funding them? Cam had written that TSU students repeatedly stole and destroyed their signs yesterday. They brought screwdrivers as weapons and then blocked them on campus as they were being told to leave by campus security. The individuals blocked them on the campus. We will hopefully have that discussion coming up in just a couple of minutes. In the meantime, Lindsay is next. Hello, Lindsay. Glad you called.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, Lindsay.
Well, I'm thinking there's the flip side going on from the Democrats that are JFK style, the old style ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
The ones that were to protect freedoms and everything.
Hey, Lindsay.
What?
Am I on a speakerphone?
I hope not.
I mean, are you on a speakerphone?
I'm not.
Oh, okay. All right. I was having trouble hearing you.
Am I echoing because I turned off all the radio?
No, you're not echoing at all. It sounds like, are you in the bathroom right now, Lindsay?
No, sir. I'm on a laptop.
Okay. Oh, you're on a laptop.
The landline, remember, from Pleasant Shade.
Oh, yeah. Lindsay from Pleasant Shade. Okay, I will listen closely as you talk with us. All right, start over. What are you saying?
I know that you're not going to be able to fix this, but I wanted to say that it has affected my life very personally, the racism embedded in our country. It's in some of my grandparents, and I think that there's a flip side in the baby boomers in my parents' generation that almost, they say embrace everybody. And what I'm seeing today is people on our chat, Travis, people in my family, my brothers, my mom still is the old JFK, thinks she's helping people, doesn't listen to news properly, ill-informed person. And everybody's talking about skin. And like I said, I know you can't fix this, but it's tearing families apart. It's tearing friends apart. And it's sick. And I understand there's ideologies and there's all these other politics and things, but skin color still, I mean, how
well,
old
but now let's stop. Let's stop right there. Let me try to help you with this, Lindsay.
Okay, because it's tearing people up.
Who keeps talking about skin color?
Well, Travis Robertson on the YouTube chat.
I'm not, look, the YouTube chat is the Wild West, right?
Brother.
So, now hold on a second. The YouTube chat, just dismiss that out of hand.
It's like everybody is making a big deal about it. There's white privilege. We're racist. You are the most persecuted man in the world for being a white male. Oh, what do you know?
I would like to live by the creed presented to us years ago by Martin Luther King. That's what I strive toward. I bring up facts when race matters within those facts, embedded within those facts. For example, if you want to get to the bottom of the crime problem in America, you have to identify where the crime problem is. Inherently in that, you will find racial demographics that come up. I don't bring these up out of any sort of desire to bring up the differences between a young black male in America today versus, for example, a white female. But those examples are necessary to illustrate where the crime is, because in order to solve it, in order to get to the bottom of it, we have to know where the crime's happening. And then we can start asking ourselves why the crime is happening. What causal factors might exist as a result of the conditions of the individuals that are committing the crimes, or at least the majority of the crimes in America, and move forward there. So I think there are some places, to answer your question, there are some times and places where it's appropriate to bring up the issue of race. I think the issue of race is brought up more often than not in American political debate today, Lindsay, as a bludgeon. It is designed to prevent me from being able to adequately discuss an issue for fear of being described as a racist. I think most Americans, it has been.
I am pro-ICE, and hey, if the shoe fits.
I will say this.
Profiling people, okay, fine, but dividing people up, it's just. People are killing each other over this, and I can't stand it anymore. I'm sorry.
Lindsay, I understand, and I feel for you. And look, I will tell you this. Do not be disillusioned, and thank you for the call. Do not be disillusioned based on what you hear on mainstream media networks. Do not be disillusioned as to how they attempt to present these types of things. In my experience, the vast majority of my interactions with people on a day-to-day basis are positive interactions. Now, this doesn't sell magazines, as they say. This doesn't, attract listeners to the radio. This doesn't get people liking and subscribing on the intraweb side of things. But I will tell you it is true. My interaction with people on a day-to-day basis, regardless of one's skin tone, are positive. I made a point, I've told this story on air before. I made a point during the summer of 2020, during the COVID-19 pandemic. At Cumulus Media, Cumulus was experiencing some of the same economic issues that most of America experienced. And as businesses had to shutter, businesses stopped advertising. And obviously, we pay the bills by advertising, which is why radio is free to you. As a result, advertising revenue dried up, and Cumulus Media, in an attempt to prevent layoffs, forced furloughs. And I think I can talk about this. I haven't asked, but here we are. I'm talking about it. So, in an effort to prevent having to lay people off or fire people, they asked of us / demanded of us that we take 3 weeks of furlough time. And you could take it week to week to week. And I was the program director at a Cumulus-based talk radio station in Birmingham, Alabama, Talk 99.5. Did the morning show down there. And I was told that I had to be off one particular week. It was scheduled. I mean, they said what weeks you had to leave and what weeks you had to be off, and it was your week, and when it was your week, you had to be off. Well, this was the week that the George Floyd saga blew up. And I appealed to my bosses that this week was going to be huge in terms of direction of the station, and it might necessitate my still being there. And they said, no, you have to take the week off. I was also writing a column for a publication at the time, online publication at the time, called 1819 News. And recognizing that I could not be on air and recognizing that it was impermissible for me to interact with any people, as I watched on networks like CNN and MSNBC and ABC and CBS and NBC, their suggestion that the world was burning to the ground in a racially charged civil war, which is what the suggestion was that summer, I made the decision that I was going to check out from the news and go talk to real America. And I wrote a column about that. You can still find this column on somewhere. I don't know if it's 1819 News or AL.com. I think it was 1819 News that I was writing for at the time. And if you look it up, you can find it. I packed up my motorcycle and took off on my motorcycle and took a tour of South Alabama, South Georgia. I drove through Alabama into the panhandle of Florida, over into Georgia, and back up through Alabama, and spent a night with my brother and spent a night at a hotel. And I went through rural communities. I did not obviously take, major thoroughfares. I took back roads. I wanted to get into the backwoods. I wanted to talk to folks where they lived, and I wanted to meet people of all different socioeconomic backgrounds, all manner of racial background, and I did. I met people, wonderful, wonderful people in South Alabama and South Georgia and in Central Georgia and in the panhandle of Florida. I met black people and brown people. I met people from, Southeast Asia originally. I met people from all walks of life, all different ethnicities and races and colors and sex, men, women. And none of them were mad at each other. None of them. We weren't mad at each other. And for the vast majority of that trip, I spent time speaking to other people as a human being to another human being. And we were a part of the human race. I feel like we get caught in this trap a lot because it sells newspapers, as they say. And it gets eyeballs on televisions and maybe gets ears to the radio. The vast majority of my interactions are good and positive, and it really doesn't matter what color the people are. And I don't believe that our country has a racial issue outside of those that are attempting to continue some of those racial issues for their own selfish purposes. That is my take. What is yours? 615-737-9986. Luke is riled up at me? Is Luke riled up at me?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's a saying.
Oh, he's riled up at someone else?
No, he has a response to a earlier call.
Oh, okay. All right, I just wanted to make sure. I mean, one way or the other.
He's not really riled up at all.
I wish he was. I like riled up people. I get riled up from time to time.
I'm going to get riled up if you don't go to break.
23 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Oh, let's talk about your hair. If you're losing it and you desire to have it back, then Advanced Hair Restoration has the easiest and guaranteed solution. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results. I've seen it, folks, with my own eyes. Guys, it's not magic. It's close to it, though. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's science. Advanced Hair has it all. Top-rated doctors, modern technology, and best of all, you get your own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. Advanced Hair even guarantees it will grow for life. So schedule your free consultation right now at 629-348-HAIR. That's 629-348-HAIR. If you qualify, you'll get $250 off and $250 free hair grafts. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, and they are the team that I will personally recommend to you. So don't wait. Check it out, and they have before and afters online for yourself at advancedhair.com or call 629-348-HAIR. That's 629-348-HAIR, or once again, advancedhair.com. Simple one-day treatment, life-changing results with Advanced Hair. Hey, friends, Matt Murphy for Alpha and Omega. I get so excited talking about A&O. I mean, they're good people. Michael and his team, they're great at what they do. They protect you from cyber stalkers, from ransomware attacks, and obviously they help you in any and all of your IT needs. Bottom line is this. If you are in business, you need someone in the IT world. IT has become complicated enough that the last thing you need to worry about and spend your day doing is worrying about printers or, emails that aren't working properly or two computers that aren't talking to one another or, goodness me, I wouldn't even know where to begin when it comes to ransomware and cybersecurity. But know this, if you're a business owner, 14 successful ransomware attacks happen every day. Call Alpha and Omega now to avoid being one of the 14. If you're renewing your annual IT contract, do not settle for the same old, same old. Alpha and Omega is better. They deliver fewer problems, faster response time, service that actually works. Call right now for a free quote at Alpha and Omega, 615-784-0096. 784-0096 or online at Alpha and Omega's website, A&O.net. A&O.net.
Reports say President Trump's hand-picked U.S. attorney in Virginia will ask a grand jury to return an indictment against former FBI Director James Comey in a matter of days. We'll tell you about that story coming up at 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. There's Ken Weaver over in News Closet B. My name is Matt Murphy. They put me in this little studio. It's a nice enough place. Warm, bright lights. Hello. How are you? Jackson, you're kind of in the dark in there. Is that on purpose, by the way? Do you like keeping it a little darker?
So I can't stand, hate.
H-I-T-E. Hate. That's a strong word, Jackson.
What are these lights called? Like the overhead?
These little, there's little can lights. They're little.
No, not the can lights, the other one.
Track lighting, you talking about? Or fluorescence?
Fluorescent
lighting.
I can't stand it.
Hate.
So I just had the can lighting on, and it's fine.
I like warm lights. I personally replaced. The people don't know this at this radio station, so don't tell them I said this. But I personally replaced a bunch of these bulbs because it was all white. It was bright, and I like the warm, the more yellowy lighting as opposed to the blue lighting. Yeah, the fluorescence I could do without. I'm not that big of a fan, but I like warm lighting. But one way or the other, Ken Weaver, he's in bright lights.
Yeah, but I have no window.
You do not? Well, that's why I call it News Closet B.
Right. I mean, I want to open it and scream at people, but I can't because I don't have a window.
If you had a window, Ken, on these Thursdays and Fridays when we're together, starting at about, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 2:30, 3 o'clock, look out there at the Woo girls.
Yeah.
Woo
with them.
Going by and on their the party tractors and the party buses and the party barges and the party tanks and the party trucks and the party. Have you seen the party hearse?
No.
You've not seen the party hearse?
I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh, yeah, it's out there. Oh, yeah, you can. We're right here on the butt end of Music Row, as I like to say, and they come on by, and Ken Weaver would be yelling out that window, "Woo, girls!" Love them. Every single one of those bridesmaids, you know what they do? They go into the bars and they think that they deserve a free drink.
Yeah.
The barkeeps don't like them.
And then after a couple of hours, they do things that wind up on other people's cell phones that they don't think is going to get out.
Giddy up.
Mm-hmm. Everything you do is on social media these days.
Yeah. Oh, no question. I would not be in this position of relative power were there social media back in the day. I just don't believe it. I know that I did a couple of things that were there videos of those things that I did that were available.
You'd be under the jail.
I don't know that I would be in jail, but I sure as hell would not be hosting this radio show. I can tell you that. And if y'all want me, see, the great thing is, Ken, people can call me and say, well, what are you talking about, Murphy? And I will tell them
Right.
And they'll laugh and think that I'm kidding around. But then I can go to my bosses and go, come on, guys, I'm just playing.
What are you talking about, Murphy?
Come on, guys. I'm just playing.
I was just joshing.
Hey, that's just entertainment, folks. We're just entertaining the masses every afternoon, 3 to 7.
Yes,
that's all we're doing. What are you excited? Are you being a woo girl? You being a woo boy in there?
Woo! Let's go to the news.
Hey, it's time for the news on Super Talk 97W. Woo!
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We've got some heavy rain out there. Most of the heavy stuff staying south of I-40. Full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Sources with direct knowledge telling ABC News President Trump's hand-picked U.S. attorney in Virginia will ask a grand jury to return an indictment against former FBI Director James Comey in a matter of days. ABC's Catherine Falders has more from D.C.
We're learning, of course, that Lindsay Halligan, the U.S. attorney, the new U.S. attorney that President Trump installed there after he fired the other U.S. attorney who is investigating Tish James, she will likely in the coming days go to a grand jury to ask a grand jury to return an indictment of James Comey. Now, this stems from allegations that he allegedly lied to Congress in testimony he gave in 2020.
The Department of Homeland Security confirming all 3 shot this morning at the ICE Detention Center facility in Dallas, Texas, were detainees. 2 of them died. The rooftop shooter turning the gun on himself, and he died. ABC's Maria Villarreal is there and describes this location.
There are people that can come inside where they can walk in the front door, they can do their status check-in hearings, and then they can walk out after their hearings are taken care of. But then you also have detention hearings that are being held at this facility as well. And that's where we see detainees coming in. They are often handcuffed or shackled or both. They come in vans and sometimes big white buses. They come in through the back near a sally port, which is what we understand happened here. And it's when they pulled in that they were fired on.
FBI Director Kash Patel released images of what he claimed were recovered unspent shell casings, including one engraved with the phrase anti-ICE. The killer's been identified as 29-year-old Joshua Jahn, that's Jahn, which the Hindustan Times is reporting public records show he was a registered independent who cast his final ballot in November of 2024. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Yeah, it's complete stop and go northbound 65 to the South Loop, eastbound South Loop to 65, eastbound 440 over to 24, then eastbound 24, stop and go down to Briley Parkway. Crashes in the way, got 3 of them on I-40. First one, south side, I-40 westbound and Hermitage Avenue. 40 westbound before Jefferson Street. Left lane block there. Left lane block 40 eastbound at Charlotte Avenue. 2 crashes on I-24 in Rutherford County. One of them is an injury crash, right lane block, 24 eastbound before Waldron Road. Then in Murfreesboro, this isn't a crash. It's saying police activity, 24 eastbound at Church Street. Then in Brentwood, got a crash blocking the right lane, 65 southbound at Old Hickory Boulevard. Back to Rutherford County, got a crash reported 24 eastbound between Sam Ridley Parkway and Almaville Road. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hey, looky there. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you this story that I just looked up online in just a moment. Don't let me forget to tell you the story about Representative Justin Pearson and the National Guard in Memphis. Okay? Just write that down, would you? Would you write that down?
Noted.
Okay, well, I'll tell you about Grace Point Healthcare. Grace Point Healthcare is your one-stop shop for all things primary care, and I encourage you to get over to Grace Point because they do it the right way. We call it modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. That means that insurance companies don't dictate your level of service. They don't dictate what your doctor does for you at Grace Point. They don't believe in it, right? They wouldn't do it that way. It's affordable, it's convenient, it's comprehensive. You know exactly what you're paying right up front. Grace Point, there's no long wait times in the waiting room. Grace Point is your primary provider, treating the entire family from newborns to seniors. And hey, how about this? If you enroll in the Smart Care plan, $69 a month. That's what it costs. It includes free office visits for the entire year and free basic labs and diagnostic testing. How about that? And now, thanks to the big, beautiful bill becoming the big, beautiful law, your health savings account, your HSA, will cover your basic Smart Care plan. That's good news as well. At Grace Point, it's good news that they treat the whole body with a comprehensive medical approach, trying to get to the root of the problem, not just treating the symptoms. Call 599-6868. They're located in the heart of Franklin, but worth the drive anywhere within the sound of my voice. 599-6868. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello. My name is Matt Murphy. This is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. I'm pleased you've decided to join us. I imagine that you're here because Ken Weaver is here, and he's the reason that everybody comes to this radio station to listen to news headlines and his incredible acumen with regard to the happenings of the day. Or maybe it's Jackson Williams with his rapier-like wit.
I think it's you and Brother Jackson.
Huh?
I'm sorry. Ken, the look that I got when I said that Jackson had a rapier-like wit, right. It was pretty obvious that Jackson does not understand. Well, what do you think that means, Jackson?
I don't want to know.
You think I'm accusing you of something, don't you?
Yes.
Well, I'm not. I'm not, I promise. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing, Brother Jackson.
By the way, several folks are asking us for an update on the story that we alluded to about the possibility of two lawmakers doing things, untoward things in their offices in the General Assembly, right there in the Cordell Hull building. And I don't have a lot of an update, but I'll just give you a recap and let you know where we are. I will say this. I'm not willing, because the individual that has the intimate knowledge on this is not willing to come forward as of yet. So I'm not willing to move forward with any update on this story, except to say that we contacted both individuals involved in this story yesterday. Did we not, Jackson Williams?
We did, and we heard back.
And we heard back from both of them. And both of them were made aware of the situation. Well, one of them was made directly aware of the situation. You were in the room when I was talking to that person. And that person laughed it off and said that it was a laughable accusation. And I said, is that a denial? And they said, yes. The other person said that these were scurrilous rumors and that they would be addressed Monday, I guess?
Yes.
Monday. So I guess we'll all see on Monday what happens. One of the other stories running around the General Assembly, completely unrelated to this story that I just talked to you about, Representative Todd Warner is holding is going to be a part of a zoning commission meeting in his home district. What county is this? Is this Marshall County? Where apparently he has started on his property what some are calling a quarry, and he claims that it's just a lake. But the people say that he is dynamiting limestone out of the quarry and selling the limestone, and he has not zoned. I'm not making this up. So this is Representative Todd Warner.
Wow.
So he's being accused of like blowing out big old chunks of limestone and having that and selling it. And people are like, you got a quarry, dude. You're not allowed to have a quarry without getting a permit for a quarry. And he's like, oh, it's not a quarry. I'm just building a lake. That's what he said.
Maybe he is.
And maybe he is. But there's apparently
it's his land, right?
It's his property. It's his property. But as folks are saying that it's affecting their property because of the dynamiting.
Oh, yeah.
So he's apparently he has a zoning meeting that's coming up in the next couple of, I guess it's on Tuesday at 6 o'clock. So that's Todd Warner. And that's completely unrelated to the other story I was telling you about the two people doing the stuff they ought not to be doing. Why am I getting the look? Why are you giving me the look? Why am I getting the look? I don't deserve the look. Did you look up rapier like wit yet?
No.
You spell it correctly, buddy. You don't want to spell it incorrectly.
Not on the work computer.
By the way, I have no idea where Cam Higbee is. It was my bad. I took a little bit of a risk. We scheduled last night. I got a hold of Cam. I know he's a busy guy. He's with the Fearless Debate people. They went to TSU. They got on campus at TSU. Rabble-rousers busted them out of campus and then tried to block them onto campus. I mean, it was gross what happened at TSU. It was wrong, and it should be condemned roundly and soundly by all involved. Sadly, the TSU campus officials are defending the students on campus, which is ridiculous based on the video that we see plainly in front of us, and I'm going to play you some of that video in a moment. That said, communicated with Cam last night, scheduled it for 4:05 Central Time today. Sadly, we did not hear back, and I took a risk, and I did not get a backup number for him, and we scheduled it on social media platforms. That's on me. That is a failure of this host to get the backup number. So as much as I want to blame Jackson, can't do it. See how fair I am? See how good I am?
I'm going to look up that definition.
You see how I take responsibility when things are in my lap, on my shoulders?
That word?
Rapier. R-A-P-E or R-A-P-I-E-R. Rapier. I think that's right. Rapier-like. Let's see if I remember the phraseology correctly. What does it say?
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Sharp, right?
Yeah.
Like razor, like sword, like?
Yes.
Sharp. Rapier. Like piercing wit. Mm-hmm. Johnny is next up. Hey, Johnny, what's happening?
Hey, man, how's it going?
I'm great, Johnny. Thank you for asking.
Well, I just moved to Tennessee, so I've been listening to you for the last month, and I really enjoyed the show. Just want to.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Something you said about knowing where the crime is coming from. Real quick, I had a bad divorce, moved out of South Carolina, went down to Florida to build a couple hospitals. I got me a DUI down there. Did everything I needed to do, paid everything, paid the extra insurance, took the $100 a week classes, came back to South Carolina, went to my local gun shop who sold me my first gun, and applied for a gun license, or applied for a purchase, which we do through the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, and was denied. Told me to come back in 24 hours, was denied again. And so I obviously had to call the FBI, and they said that during your arrest, the officer made a statement that you might have tried to headbutt him, which was later discounted and later, overturned through witnesses and actually the other officer that was on the scene. And my thing is, and I'm a purist when it comes to the Second Amendment. I really am. But you're telling me that an officer can say that somebody might have tried to headbutt me, and that keeps me from buying a firearm. But someone's on heavy duty mental drugs. There's not a database for that. You can't stop. And I know they run into this HIPAA BS.
Johnny, let me ask you this. So
yeah,
you got a so I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. You got a DUI, and you were never charged with assaulting an officer or anything like that?
That's correct.
Okay.
It's just from the sentence.
How is that being flagged on your application?
That's the million dollar question.
Yeah,
So,
I would get an attorney. I mean, I think you needed an attorney.
We took care of it. The other officer stepped up, said it never happened.
Okay.
We had a couple of, so I'm again having a concealed license and still have all my firearms. Nothing was taken. But my issue is when someone's being treated for mental illness, you've got a database that can pick up on a sentence that an officer puts in a report. Why can we not, if there's mental illness involved, why can we not flag people? And again, this being a Second Amendment purist talking, why can't we flag that person and say, okay, these people are on mental health drugs. Maybe we need to pay more attention. If you can pick up on one sentence in a report, why in the world can't you pick up on mental illness, which I mean, mostly is where all the trouble's coming from right now. We're finding that all these people have signs or histories of mental illness.
I'm stuck on, and maybe I shouldn't be. I'm stuck on how exactly they flagged you in the process of your application for a firearm. I don't understand how that happened. But that said, I mean, obviously, I mean, there are parameters by which they have to work under, and those have to be official designations of mental health diagnoses before you can prevent someone from purchasing a weapon. So there has to be a demonstration that those individuals are a direct harm to themselves or to other people. I don't believe that it can be necessarily speculation. And that's a part of the system that, some might say that that's a flaw in the system. I would suggest it's just a part of the system because of our belief in our ability to defend ourselves against a tyrannical government first and foremost, and against, others that are trying to do us harm secondarily and whatnot. So I mean, I think this is the concept that Charlie Kirk, for example, was talking about when he said that in our system and our belief in our ability to change the course of government and to protect ourselves is so strong that we live in a society that you're going to see people kill other people in our society as a result of that. And that isn't a flaw necessarily in the system. It's a part of the system that we hate, that we despise, but that we accept because the alternative is worse.
And you know what? Going through what I went through, and with the cost that I incurred, I might feel like, even though I said what I said about being a purist, maybe the chicken needs to come before the egg on this, and we need to. Okay, we've got a flag here. Let's go by and check this guy out, and let's see if he's got firearms. Let's see what he uses them for. I don't want to go there because I have more guns than I can carry around in my truck. But I'm just saying the mental health issue, to me, is the biggest issue we have against us.
Yes,
right now.
Of course it is. I mean, it is, and it seems to be getting worse. I do not believe that the mental health issue is I don't the causal factors of that are far deeper than gun laws. And I think we need to address some of the causal factors. And two, I think we need to ask ourselves if there ought not to be a better way. And Johnny, thank you for the call. There ought not to be a better way to have someone mentally evaluated and, if deemed a danger to themselves or to others, temporarily or even permanently placed in an institution or a facility where they can get the help that they need without being a danger to themselves and certainly without being a danger to other people. We've got a lot of mental illness running around on our streets, folks. A lot of mental illness in basements in their parents' home. I mean, we got a lot of it going around. I don't pretend to have the answer to all of it. I think anyone that does pretend to have the answer to all of this is fooling themselves or lying to you. But what we're doing right now is not working. And I was just asked a question on my text line. Sincere question. They said, Matt, are we winning the human race? I kind of like the phraseology of that question. Are we winning the human race? No. We're losing to the internet right now. We are losing to the internet. We are losing our humanity to the internet right now. It's 54 after the hour on Superdog. Okay, so the time has come. Friends, pick up the phone or at least pick up a pen and write this telephone number down so you can pick up the phone in just a little bit and call Jeff Eddy in Efficient Heating and Cooling. Here's what you're going to say. You're going to say, hey, is this Jeff? And sometimes they'll say, yeah, this is Jeff Eddy. And sometimes they'll say, no, this is one of the qualified technicians that work for Efficient Heating and Cooling. Either way, you'll say, okay, Matt Murphy told me to call and schedule my maintenance appointment for my heater. And they'll say something along the lines of, okay, when do you want to get that done? And then you go about scheduling it. And I won't go through how that works. You kind of know how scheduling works. They come out, and for $125 or less, and more often than not, it will be less and sometimes considerably less, depending on where you are and what units you have. They'll come out, they'll maintenance your heating unit, they'll get it cleaned up, they'll make sure everything is running as it should, they'll give it a test run, and just give you the thumbs up, the A-OK. Here's the great thing. There's the maintenance guarantee at Efficient Heating and Cooling, meaning if they maintenance your unit, and then for whatever reason during this heating season, they have to come back out, they're going to waive the service fee on that return trip. That's what they do for you because they don't believe that you should pay for that twice. You should only pay for that once. That's the type of folks that Efficient Heating and Cooling truly are. You need to maintenance that heater to make sure it's running as it should. Get on that at Efficient Heating and Cooling. They're an Elite Pro partner with Rheem. They can help you out. EfficientHVAC.net, EfficientHVAC.net, or 615-784-4424, 784-4424.
5 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. All the heavy rain is south of I-40, but we've got some more coming this way that is north of I-40 right now in the Missouri Boot Hill, coming into West Tennessee there. We'll be keeping an eye on that for you tonight. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. ABC News has learned that days before the statute of limitations is set to run out, the new top federal prosecutor in Eastern Virginia set to pursue a grand jury indictment of former FBI Director James Comey. That days after President Trump installed her in the role after publicly lamenting that the Justice Department wasn't acting quickly enough to pursue certain targets. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy has the story.
Sources tell ABC News that despite her office's recommendations, the newly appointed U.S. attorney in Eastern Virginia is intent on seeking an indictment against the former FBI director for allegedly lying to Congress. James Comey appeared almost exactly 5 years ago before the Senate Judiciary Committee.
So your testimony is you've never authorized anyone to leak.
Appearing remotely, Comey reiterated previous denials as he referred to his former deputy, Andrew McCabe.
Again, I'm not going to characterize Andy's testimony, but mine is the same today.
Sources say acting U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan was told by her staff this week that they couldn't prove a case, but she's still expected to ask a grand jury to approve charges. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
A rooftop shooter fired on an ICE facility in Dallas, Texas this morning, leaving one detainee dead and two in critical condition. The alleged shooter found dead from what appears to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound, according to authorities on scene. ABC Justice and Homeland Security reporter Luke Barr says this agency has this agency very concerned.
The acting ICE director was on ABC News Live just this morning and said that in August there was someone who came to this facility claiming he had a bomb allegedly strapped to himself and wanted to detonate it. July 4th, according to the acting ICE director, CBP in Alvarado, Texas, it was a quote-unquote ambush by the group who had weapons and wanted to allegedly commit harm, according to the acting ICE director.
So the intended target still not clear today. The shots seem to have been fired indiscriminately at the ICE building. Family members of the 67 people who lost their lives in the mid-air crash between an Army helicopter and an American Airlines passenger plane in D.C. in January filing a lawsuit today. Attorney Brian Alexander.
The primary duty of an air traffic controller is to separate traffic and to avoid mid-air collisions. In this particular case, they completely failed to meet that responsibility.
So this wrongful death lawsuit names the FAA, American Airlines, and the regional carrier PSA, as well as the military, as being negligent and crowding lots of air traffic into Washington, D.C.'s airspace. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. East Bank going eastbound. Got a crash at Shelby Avenue. Watkins Park. TDOT says the left lane is blocked by a crash. 40 eastbound near Charlotte Avenue. Southside. Police say there's a crash 40 westbound at Hermitage Avenue. Then 24 eastbound in Murfreesboro. TDOT says there's a crash at Church Street. And in Laverne, police reporting an injury crash. Right lane block, 24 eastbound before Waldron Road. It is complete stop-and-go traffic north and southbound 65 between the South Loop and 440. And then eastbound 24 is stop-and-go just past 440. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We are halfway home on the big show. Thank you for being around. My name is Matt Murphy, and this is the Matt Murphy Show. It's episode 891 of our gathering together today on this Wednesday. And per usual, look who has shown his head. It is Cameron Smith. He writes for the Tennessean. Normally, I tell you that we had a great opportunity to present an episode of All the Best Words that will be dropping later on today or later on this week. That is not the case today, as Cameron had other duties. We'll talk about those other duties in just a moment. I would like to thank Cameron Smith as we welcome him to the show. On the television side of things, particularly if you're looking on TV, you'll notice that finally you have dressed to give us the respect that we deserve, and I appreciate that.
Well, I try for you. I really do. The tech casual that I normally wear, no, today I was suited up.
Mm-hmm. I decided to dress like a delicious meat and three country restaurant.
Yeah. When I'm looking at you, it's just screaming Cracker Barrel.
Loveless Cafe. I was hoping I was going for Loveless.
I was thinking you look like a UGA booster that's trying to party with the frat boys.
That's awesome.
Is that what I look like, Jackson?
Yes.
Did I look similarly right after the game where Georgia defeated the University of Tennessee 44-41 in overtime?
Matt, we had plenty of time to talk about this on the sports edition
of
All the Best Words, and Cameron sat out because Alabama doesn't have sports anymore.
What?
I think Cameron set out because I casually may have thrown out that we might have a sports edition, and Cameron's like, no, I don't want to talk about that until next week. No, it was. We decided to do a sports edition of All the Best Words, which is dropping later on this week.
Saturday.
And it's my understanding that it does, in fact, include a big thing that says sports edition, and it includes a bouncing soccer ball.
So did Jackson actually produce this one, or did he let other people handle it?
He let other lesser than people handle those duties while he sat on the couch and co-hosted the episode. What was your word again?
Play calling.
Play calling.
Talked about the Tennessee Titans.
Do you remember my word?
Attrition.
Attrition.
Also talking about the Tennessee Titans.
Well, mine was actually about the SEC, but, different subject for a different night. What were you doing all day, all dressed up, all gussied up?
So on this show, when Senator Blackburn announced, hey, I'm running for governor.
Yeah, she came on that day.
Yeah, I was here, and I asked her about DCS policy. I said, well, what's your game plan there? Not playing gotcha, but as you know, as a foster parent, it's something I care a lot about. I think it is a broken system right now that we have some real problems in. And she said, well, yeah, I want to follow up with you. And she did. And I know that your listeners are like, well, politician do it. They said, look, I've engaged with lots of politicians. And I will tell you, not only did she follow up, but when I walked into the meeting and I'd done my homework, I said, hey, here's some things to consider. She knew what she was talking about. She brought things to the table from her personal experience and said, hey, why is this way? What's going on here? And it was one of the best engagements I've had with a politician in a very long time.
Wow.
Yeah, I was, to be blunt, blown away because DCS
and her knowledge of the subject you were discussing.
Yeah, she had personal connections with her family, and she was saying things that I've experienced too. Like, because there's so much turnover with case managers, it feels like you're just pressing reset and starting from square one. And it was just encouraging because DCS, Department of Children's Services, for those of y'all who don't know, is a policy area that's really tough to handle, and nobody makes a lot of money off of it. So it's usually kind of ignored, brushed aside, like, we want to do well, but we got to focus on economic development. That kind of stuff.
What's wrong with DCS right now?
You have a bloated bureaucracy that hides behind privacy in the name of protecting children, and it hurts the children because the system is broken. And what I mean by that is you have, call it, 1,500 frontline caseworkers that are handling all this stuff. You've got a central office that is not well connected with frontline workers, and you have a massive information management problem that all these kids, there's information about all of them. Everybody says privacy, but privacy has become CYA.
Right.
Well, we can't talk about that. No, we actually can talk about these policies, these bureaucracies, things like that. You just have to keep the privacy of the kids and families in mind. But this has gone on for too long. We are ranked extremely low. I think in the low 40s is where we are as a state. You can just read the reports online. We're failing like all kinds of different measures of success. But this has been consistently bad through the last several administrations. And the Lee administration, I think they genuinely wanted to engage here. But if you don't sort of peel back the curtain and say, hey, this is rough, this is bad from day one, and say, will you guys help us with this? Open it up to the media, have the conversations and say, hey, this is hurting children. The worst, least conservative thing you can have is the state as your parent. We want strong families. That has to mean something. It's just not a talking point. Then we've got to correct this bureaucracy, which means you got to hollow it out. And I really mean that. Like the central office, there has to be some significant changes in the way we do DCS in Tennessee, because right now we are not going to get better results with marginal changes. It's just not going to happen.
When you say, and I did not necessarily intend for this to turn into a Matt Murphy interview with Cameron Smith about DCS, but I'm naturally curious. Off the top of your head, do you know roughly how many foster kids are in Tennessee?
Around 8,000. It's between 8,000 and 9,000.
And when you say we have to hollow it out, what does that mean? Just build the department back from the ground up?
Yeah, well, actually from the front lines up. So what's happened is you have a state central office, a commissioner that's sort of just building on what was done before. This is the typical government inertia that you see, right?
What's happening now, and how can we make that better?
Right, and I'll give Commissioner Quinn some credit. They have solved some of the challenges, right? They've addressed some of the attrition, like case managers in I think 21. Attrition was 97%. They almost lost everybody every year, and now that's down precipitously. There's some good things. It's not all bad, but instead of trying to build on what's already there, what we need to do is say, okay, what's the challenges facing Tennessee? We got thousands of kids here. Do we have enough homes? Well, no, we need more therapeutic foster homes. We need more of these things to serve this community, and then build the agency from the front lines up rather than the front lines sort of being the last ones to know what's going on.
Right.
Well, they're the ones that are serving the families. They're the ones that are serving the kids. They're doing the really hard, difficult day-to-day work. And so that must inform the bureaucracy.
As opposed to the other way around.
Right. And right now we have all these training requirements, all this random stuff, but none of it really is translating well.
Incredible reaction on the super text line. 7606 says, my daughter works for DCS. They're so overworked, it's ridiculous. They work many overtime hours. DCS doesn't want to pay them for the hours.
Right. Well, and look, I talking with Senator Blackburn, I was saying a lot of the caseworker time is spent in transportation. Like they're trying to just, work
Get from
overtime.
one place to the next.
Yes, their caseloads are high. They're dealing with situations where these are human beings. They're not just like widgets. Some need more attention than others. Some require more engagement, and they're having to drive people after hours, like to go get a kid to court or something like that. We need to solve things like a transportation problem to let them do their jobs well.
Is 2607, and I'm just being overwhelmed by folks who want to talk about this, but 2607 says DCS requires a 4-year degree for a job paying $50,000 a year. Is that true?
Yeah. I mean, it ranges, right? Like, but what you have to have, and the training requirement, I believe, for a caseworker right now is once we hire you, it was 9 weeks. Now it's like 24 weeks to train you up on everything. And the whole system right now.
That's almost half a year, Cameron.
I know that, man.
See, I did that math real quick in my head.
It's built to
That's ridiculous.
Cover their tails, right? It is, well, we must do
Does it take half a year to
the answer is
it shouldn't.
It shouldn't, but it's, well, you got to train on, drug addiction and train. And the best thing that you can do is have somebody who's a really good case manager train somebody who's new.
Yeah, in the field.
Do ride-alongs and do it in the field.
Yeah, in the field.
Right.
We do that with police officers, don't we?
Right, and it would make a lot of sense. But instead, we're like, here's 30 million online trainings.
Oh, boy.
Courses and seminars. You know what that doesn't prepare you for? The kid
real world.
that is ticked off and won't talk to you.
Right.
Will you draw your feelings? Hell no. They start breathing fire, right?
I'll draw my feelings.
I was told that you would draw your feelings.
I'm going to tell that. Thank you. That's a good one. I'm going to tell Jackson to do that the next time I make him mad. Jackson, just draw your feelings, buddy. Just draw them out. It'll be okay. All right, real quick, Frank, you've been holding for a minute. We'll continue talking with Cameron about DCS, but you were impressed. Bottom line is you were impressed with Marcia. The conversation went well.
And we're going to follow up again. So I'm very excied that, hey, she's taking it seriously.
Are you offering, you have such intimate knowledge about this. Obviously, I'm not trying to put the cart before the horse, but, you're having conversations with Marcia because she's trying to learn from people like you on the front lines. If the voters make the decision to choose her as the next governor, she wants to be ready to go on these subjects. That's why she's talking to you. Are you offering yourself to service for her?
Yeah.
If all the chips fell where
she's got a lot has to happen before then. But I will tell you that I would run through a brick wall, and I told her this. I would run through a brick wall for these kids. We have got to stop failing kids in Tennessee. And so if it's, hey, we need you to serve in whatever capacity, it's certainly something I consider, and it works with my family. I just want these kids to not get tossed away, right? That's actually what I care about.
Well, you've been through, and those that have listened to this show for any length of time know that you currently have two successful fosters.
I have teenage boys in my house, so let's be honest.
Let's not use the word success, right?
We're working on it.
But you experienced, your first foster was a very frustrating experience because you saw the back end of that.
Yeah.
You saw what happens when the system fails a young man to the point that they are broken.
Yeah.
And I know how loving you and Justine are, and I know what type of environment you presented. And sometimes, I hate to put it this way, I don't want to get too maudlin, but sometimes, the soul is so broken.
Yeah. Well, and that's hard for me to accept because I believe every kid deserves a chance. But the truth is, there are a lot of people that go through a lot of hard times. You've talked about some of the ones that you went through, right?
Yeah.
And they need somebody to stand in the gap. When there's a breach, when there's something that falls apart, they need somebody like your grandfather to come in and say, you know what, I got you. And in Tennessee, as a volunteer state, we need more people that say, I got you.
Yeah.
And communities come around and do this. And the fact that Senator Blackburn was willing to have that conversation, and her ideas are, hey, how do we get communities engaged? How do we do the wraparound? How do we make sure that it's the communities and the people supporting and helping build this rather than state solutions? She's speaking my love language. But that said, I'll talk to anybody. I will talk to John Rose or anybody that wants to help these kids and develop some solutions that actually work. I think Senator Blackburn's got a great track to become the next governor, and I'm glad that she's thinking about these issues so far out as opposed to waiting till, hey, she's in office and then saying, hey, we should start now. she's thinking about some of these things way ahead, and I'm honored to help her
I
out.
absolutely love everything about it. All right, Frank, we'll get to you in a moment. Frank wants to talk about TSU. Have you seen this about TSU? What a bunch of dopes. Now, I've got an inside source that is coming at this from the TSU perspective. In other words, this is a person that works for Tennessee State University. I'm going to share a little bit of that with you while protecting their anonymity. Continue to take your calls. Also take calls on DCS. There's too many letters. 21 after the hour on Super Talk 99. I can't. You know what? That's just a piece of paper to me. I can't read that.
I drew my feelings.
Oh, did you now? And
Yeah.
what are your? I can't see what your feelings say there, Jackson.
It's a middle finger.
Oh, I thought it was a surrender cobra of that kicker of yours.
Is that what you did to the kicker? Is that what you did when the kicker kicked the kick that you thought was good?
No.
Okay.
I do much more unsavory things.
Did you know? Yeah, I heard some of those in the car. Between the snores. It's Super Talk 99.7 W10. The Wellness Institute of Nashville says hello, and pain is bad. All right. I mean, you probably know that pain is bad. If you're experiencing it, you don't need to be told that. But they want to reiterate it to you that pain is bad, and they have solutions for you. Well, pain is bad, and the Wellness Institute of Nashville has solutions is a pretty long website, so they didn't choose that one. They just chose painisbad.com. The Wellness Institute of Nashville has my seal of approval in all seriousness, folks, because they do great work. They get to the root of the pain. They make sure that you understand exactly the genesis of your pain and how to solve it without having to rely on spinal injections, painkillers, or surgery. That's right. You can be pain-free without any of those three things. All it takes is a telephone call to the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Schedule an appointment. $12? That's right. The Big Daddy Trump special continues. $12 for a comprehensive examination, x-rays if needed, a diagnosis, and your first treatment. That's what it's all about, folks. Go to painisbad.com or call 615-246-5009, 246-5009, or online at painisbad.com for the Wellness Institute of Nashville.
ABC News has learned the new top federal prosecutor in Eastern Virginia is set to pursue a grand jury indictment of former FBI Director James Comey. This story and more at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. This is my Ken Weaver dance.
Yeah, it's a good one.
You like that?
Yeah.
Ken Weaver's going to do the news. Ken Weaver.
Yeah, you don't have to do a lot of moving.
That's all right. Just kind of...
You sit down, and just shuffle your arm.
Just shake your moneymaker, as they say. Yes. Just shake that moneymaker.
Kind of like you're having a seizure.
Oh, yeah. Every time I think of shaking my moneymaker, my mama, my God rest her soul, my sister, my 18-year-old sister, I can't believe I'm about to tell this story, is complaining about not having any money. And my mother says to her, well, Karen, you're sitting on a fortune. And my sister went, what? And Mama said, your moneymaker. And nobody knows why Mama said it. We all just kind of laughed.
That's pretty awesome.
That's pretty good. Anyway, 615-737-9986. It's Frank's turn. Hello, Frank.
Hey, how you going, young man?
Frank, I'm great. I hope you are.
I'm super wonderful. But the point is, what I have to say is, I'm here to educate you on the TSU thing and a few other things. I love when you're opposite of me and I'm opposite of you. Two people, all right, a couple of shootings in the neighborhood. Then one day, two people walk into your house, no introduction, no beforehand parts. Just walk into your house, sit down, take a seat, and you welcome them. You don't know whether they're going to shoot you, stab you, or cut you, or rob you. But they just walk in, haven't been invited. And yet, you're going to have some students with all the shootings and things going on, walk into TSU's domain and not be accosted by what they're doing. Why are you there? That's a venue for learning, not for shooting and cutting, and not for...
What, Frank? What were they doing?
They were sitting there. You don't know what they were going to do.
Well, what were they doing, Frank?
That's what I said. You don't know what they're going to do.
Well, you don't know what they're going to do. All right, so you're equating. So let me just make sure I understand what you're saying. Hold on, Frank. Hold on, Frank. Hold on, Frank. So my living room. Hold on, Frank. No, we're not doing it that way, Frank. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on hold, and we're going to have a reasonable conversation because I'm just making sure. I'm just trying to make sure that in your mind, my living room is the same as a college campus, a public school. So I just want to make sure that's in your mind, an open area space outside at a public university is the same thing as the living room of my house. We're going to find out if Frank thinks that's the same thing in just a moment on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.5:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. ABC News has learned the new top federal prosecutor in Eastern Virginia is set to pursue a grand jury indictment of former FBI Director James Comey this coming days after President Trump installed her in the role after publicly lamenting that the Justice Department was not acting quickly enough to go after Comey and other targets. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy has a story.
The former FBI director testified before the Senate Judiciary Committee almost exactly 5 years ago on September 30th, 2020. James Comey told the panel he could not remember receiving certain documents related to the investigation of Russian interference in the fall of 2016 and that he did not authorize leaks to the press. Now, just as the statute of limitations on a perjury charge is about to run out, sources say the new top federal prosecutor in Eastern Virginia is set to take the evidence to a grand jury. But sources also say Lindsay Halligan has been presented with a memo by her staff recommending that charges not be brought. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Shots fired outside an ICE facility in Dallas today. Police say the suspected shooter opened fire from an elevated position and that he died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. 3 people were shot. 1 of them died. More from ABC's Aaron Katursky.
The authorities say a sniper took a position on a rooftop, fired into a sally port, but seemed to fire indiscriminately, according to ICE. So we're not sure any particular individuals were targeted, and the 3 people that were shot, the Department of Homeland Security says were detainees, were undocumented immigrants in the custody of ICE.
FBI Director Kash Patel released images of what was purported to be a recovered unspent shell casing, including one engraved with the phrase anti-ICE. The shooter, identified as 29-year-old Joshua John, that's Jahn, which the Hindustan Times reports public records show he was a registered independent who cast his final ballot in November of 2024. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Two crashes on I-40. One is westbound at White Bridge Pike, Briley Parkway. The other one westbound at Hermitage. On I-24, we've got a disabled vehicle in Murfreesboro. That's eastbound at Church Street. Crash reported Haywood Lane, just east of Nolensville Pike, and then Lebanon Pike at Spence Lane. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for Eurofix. I have a few questions for you, and Eurofix has some answers, I'll be honest with you. But the questions are, do you feel comfortable walking in to the place where you get your car fixed and sitting down? And spending some time there, considering that the cleanliness of the place, right? Do you feel like it's a place where you are comfortable that they're doing the right thing the right way in the back areas? I don't know if you feel that way or not, but I know this. At Eurofix, they believe in their technicians. They believe in keeping the place spotless. They believe in going the extra mile because the clean, comfortable, and inviting environment in the front end extends to the back rooms. In the service areas, they're spotless as well. Eurofix cares about everything. They believe in dealing with every aspect of your European automobile trip to Eurofix with the same level of expertise that they're going to treat your automobile itself. Every repair comes with a rock-solid 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty, and repairs at Eurofix are below dealer pricing. Below dealer pricing. You don't have to put up with dealer prices or get ghosted when you're waiting on a callback. Eurofix fixes everything European, plus a rental car available at every appointment. Locations in Nashville, Franklin, Belmead, Murfreesboro, and Mount Juliet. Call 844-EUROFIX, 844-EUROFIX, or online at myEurofix.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Stop that, Jackson. That'll put me off my dinner watching you dance like that. It's 38 minutes after the hour on Super Talk. Thank you for being around with us. Cameron Smith is here. Matt Murphy is here. Now I'm no attorney. Cameron, I think you went through law school. Where was that? Where'd you go to law school?
University of Alabama School of Law.
Ooh, that diploma's in crayon.
Mm.
Boy, oh boy. You can't wait until the Volunteers of the Crimson Tide play, can you? You just can't wait for it.
Oh, I can't wait.
You know, it's our hate week, and we're sitting here.
We're still friendly.
Doing good. We're still friendly. It's all good.
I'm never friendly with Alabama.
Yeah.
That's fair. You're not friendly with the sunshine, just like Josh Heupel. I mean, you can see through him. It's like the pastiest white dude I've ever seen.
Whoa.
Don't talk about my glorious king that way.
Your glorious king, Captain Chinless.
Oh my God, I just spit everywhere.
Dan's going to be mad at you for that.
I know, it's all over I'm sorry, guys. Sorry, Hand. Sorry, Benson. Sorry, Mandus. I'll work on that. All right, we're talking to Frank, and I have the update on the story. So apparently, city leaders and community activists gathered outside of the Memphis City Hall to include Representative Justin Pearson, and they all gathered together. I don't know if Ken Weaver's telling you this story or not, but they all gathered together, and they all, in unison, they in a spirit of togetherness and a symbol of their desires. They all, we want crime! We want crime! We want... It was something like that. They introduced a resolution urging the governor to reject a plan to solve their crime problem.
Sounds great.
Because they're on top of it?
I like the fact that Governor Lee and the president, like, you said this correctly, that President Trump's people were like, hey, the Chicago thing's going to go poorly. Why don't you work with a governor that'll work with you?
In a red state.
Yeah.
Like,
here we are. And
like, I don't know, Memphis, #1 violent city per capita in America.
Yeah. It's pretty, the president just couldn't march in here, but working with Governor Lee, yeah.
Most certainly can.
Yeah.
And all of these people know that, which is why this is funny to me, that they know that they can't legally do anything about it. So they're passing a resolution, and the resolution is essentially, we don't want your help solving the crime problem in our city.
Yeah, which is actually not an uncommon sentiment from some of these cities. Like, we've heard fun things like, well, the real issue here is all the red areas around us that have all the guns.
Right.
Like, that doesn't check out.
Nope.
But I think if it's successful in D.C., which, again, has a legal paradigm that the president can operate in, and now with Memphis, Democrats are going to have some splaining to do.
Yeah. Like, why can't y'all do this? Like,
why are you so bad at this?
Why are you so bad at this? All right, so Frank, wanted to give you a chance to complete your analogy. Frank's talking about the TSU deal with a couple of kids that came on campus. They've been on a number of different campuses without incident. University of Tennessee, Clemson, to name two. They came on the TSU campus, and they got forced to leave. All right, Frank, floor's back yours. Go right ahead, sir.
Well, as I was saying, when you didn't understand the analogy about the
No, I understood it. I just think it's you're applying it incorrectly.
Well, I can't say that because, first of all, even though it's a public institution, it's still a private venue.
Can I go on the Frank? Am I Frank? Real quick, am I allowed to go on to the campus of TSU? Walk on the campus?
But you have a reason why.
I'm sorry?
You have a reason why.
No. No reason why. Am I allowed to walk onto the campus of TSU?
Yes, if you have a reason why.
No. You don't have to have a reason why. That's not, where is that written down?
Oh, why do you think they have security up there? Just so
to protect the safety and well-being of the students and the faculty, Frank.
Right. That's exactly what I want you to say.
Yeah.
Because you don't know who's walking around to do what.
Yeah.
Why are you up there walking around?
Yeah.
Just to show you that you're big and bad and ugly?
Is that what those kids were doing, Frank?
No.
Okay.
They were rejecting.
Wait a minute. You were calling me big. Oh, you were calling me big and bad and ugly. I got it. All right, Frank. We laughed together. That's good. That's good.
Well, like I told you, I love when somebody takes the opposite of what I'm taking.
Okay.
And that's the reason why I even listen to you, because about 55% of the stuff I don't agree with. And simply because when you brought up the Justin Pierce thing, but you didn't bring up the legislature that was found guilty of some wrongdoings. And you're not putting that out. As long as you put it out.
Who is that?
Wait, what? Who? You're talking about Justin Pearson?
Yes.
What was the legislature found guilty of?
Oh, wait a minute now.
I'm confused. I mean, let's set that one aside for a minute. I mean, that's fine. I don't want to get us off the subject.
On TV. Yeah, that's the reason why I didn't bring his name up.
That's fine.
They had him on TV walking him out the courthouse after he found guilty. So we don't need
Glenn Cassidy.
Oh, you're talking about Glenn Cassidy. Okay, yeah. He's a bad dude.
He's going to jail.
He's going to jail and deserves to be in jail.
Well, he won't be that long. Trump will fix him up.
You think? Maybe. I don't know. You might be right. Frank, Frank, if that happens, call me and call me and tell me you were right and I was wrong. Okay? So here's where I'm at on TSU, Frank. Okay? I think colleges should be a place where you have good debate, good exchange of ideas.
I don't have a problem with that.
But if these kids get on the campus and the campus police decide that they are in some way a disruption or that they are in some way protesting or demonstrating that they are not permitted to do, then the campus police can kick them off campus, which is what happened.
That's what it is.
But here's what the problem that I have. In the statement, Frank, made by now, I would argue that they were not protesting or demonstrating, but that's a debatable point. In the statement, TSU said, campus police and staff responded promptly, and the individuals were escorted from university grounds without incident. And at all times, TSU students conducted themselves in a professional and respectful manner. That's not true, Frank. That's a lie.
How do you know it's a lie?
I've seen the videos.
Okay.
The students on campus were flipping the bird. They were screaming expletives to these kids. They were throwing things at them.
They don't have a right to do that, though. They don't have a right to do that.
Well, I mean no. They have the right to do it, but don't lie to me and tell me they weren't.
Well, they don't have the right to throw things.
They don't have the right to throw things at people or block. I mean, the police were telling them to leave, and then the students were blocking their ability to leave, which is also...
No. You didn't see the video, man. You ain't going to tell me you saw the video.
I did see the video.
Now you said the students were blocking them.
They were standing in front of the car, Frank. What were these kids supposed to do? Run them over?
Yes.
Oh, well, you said that. I didn't recommend running them over. I don't think you should run them over.
Well, I wouldn't either, but if you're standing in front of the car and you won't let me exit when you have been told to exit, yes, I'll step on the gas.
Listen, look, good gracious, Frank. Frank. Well, Frank, the next time I go to Nissan Stadium, will you drive for me?
Frank's going to squish him.
I don't drive anymore, but you should drive. I would drive you anywhere you wanted to go.
Well, you're a good man. Well, Frank, look, I do not, once again, I could quibble over, and I probably would, over whether they were demonstrating or protesting. I don't think they were doing either of those things. But when the campus police decides that it's enough of a disruption, they can tell them to leave. And these young people were leaving.
We should go do an event at TSU.
Yeah, I mean, Frank, Frank, let me ask you this. Would you go with Cameron and I down to TSU?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Let's see. I can put in a request and just say, hey, we'd like to come and just talk, debate.
Yeah. But did you hear what you just said?
What's that?
I put in the request.
Once again.
I put in a request.
Well, we don't want to get kicked off campus. We won't stay there.
I put in a request.
What should we talk about, Frank?
I put in a request, which means that You're asking for permission to be there, which is your solely right because of the type of institution.
No, you have to. No, Frank, understand. Listen now. Hold on. I'm going to let you talk in a second. You have to put in a request to demonstrate or protest. You do not have to put in a request to walk on TSU's campus.
It doesn't. I'm looking at their policy right now, and if you're assembling or doing, but if you're just walking through, they don't have.
You're
anything
allowed.
on there.
You're allowed. So you and I and Cameron can go on campus and walk about anytime we want.
Right.
Okay.
I've done it myself.
Frank,
I walked behind the dormitories and all, but that's just if I stop.
What are you doing behind those dormitories, Frank?
No, it was in the way of my egress.
I'm just.
Anyway.
It was in the way of my egress.
I like you a lot, Frank. I like you, and I hope you like me.
Why should I hate you? I don't know.
Good. Well, listen, I'm about to have. I'm serious. I don't know if Cameron's serious.
I wouldn't call if I hated you. I would find somebody else to talk to.
So, what do you think? What do you think these kids? You think these kids did something wrong?
Yeah.
What did they do?
They were there without permission.
You don't have to have permission. We kind of established that.
They were knowing the type of place it is. They were knowing the type of students that the institution serves. So they were trying to stir some stuff for the MAGA man to let him know that everything is cool.
You think all the students on TSU's campus are liberals?
Nah, no.
You think there might be
20% of the students at Morehouse College voted for Trump, so I know they're not.
Okay.
And I'm sure that. Yeah,
so just being a MAGA man wouldn't stir things up then.
Well, the MAGA man doesn't know what he's doing. You know that. You can understand the MAGA man. The Bible says a man with double-minded man is no good, and one day he got the carrots on, the next day take them off. Then he puts them back on. Then he takes them off. If you praise him, he takes them off. If you don't praise him, he puts them on. That's insane.
But Frank, you think it's probably okay for conservatives to come on TSU's campus because there's probably some students there that are conservative too, right?
I don't mind conservative. I'm talking to you, aren't I?
Well, no. I'm talking about the students that are there. Like, there's
why was it an automatic for you that it was going to cause trouble for a couple of conservatives to be on the campus?
It wouldn't be automatic. It's only when you show what you're doing there. Those fellows went there in order to generate some
discussion. Discussion is the word.
So if they said,
bring your table,
be honest about what they said. They say we're saying that DEI is bad and we shouldn't have this policy.
DEI should be illegal.
DEI should be illegal. Are you telling me that there are no students at TSU that would agree with that, or at least have the conversation?
I can't attest to that because I don't know what the students up there would do.
That's fair.
More than likely, at least he's found one. But the institution itself has a good reputation. And that type of activity.
TSU has a good reputation?
Oh, yes.
They don't really have a good reputation when it comes to their finances, Frank.
Wait a minute. That's a good thing. I'm glad you brought up the finances. The legislators owe TSU $2.1 billion, which they refused to give them. Now, tell me that won't make a difference in that institution's finances. Tell me that won't make a difference in what they could do.
It would take. This is the way I'll answer that question, Frank, and then I got to go. I agree with you that it would take even TSU a little while to waste all that money. I got to run, Frank. We'll try to set something up and get the three of us on the TSU campus. That would be a lot. I think that would be a lot of fun, and I'm not even kidding. Max and David will get to you in a moment. I'm going to make Cameron stay at least until 7 o'clock. We've got another hour to go on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hi, friends. It's Matt Murphy, and I want to tell you about something going on right now at the Glock store. You need to get over there. It started on the 23rd. That was yesterday, and it happens until the 27th. That's Saturday. The AccuShoot LFX is a live fire simulator, and it is in place right now at the Glock store, and you need to get to this thing, man. It's a lot of fun. Dan Mandis was doing it the other day. I saw this video of Mandis there. I got to get over there. I need to find a time tomorrow morning. Yeah, I'm going to find a time. I'm going to get over there, and I'm going to do this, too, because I got to beat Mandis. The AccuShoot LFX is a fully interactive experience. It allows you to shoot at a variety of animated targets with live fire in a timed drill that is automatically and instantly scored. Scoring is important because if you're not me or Mandis, you have an opportunity to win. We can't win, but you can. Every day, the top shooters in the daily prize drill will win a valuable prize like a Real Avid gunsmithing tool set or Osight Red Dot optics. And the grand prize winner, the top shooter of the grand prize, will win a Dira DY9 pistol. And if you've not heard of these, ask about them at the Glock store. They're pretty cool. Just create your AccuShoot shooter profile at the Glock store. Pay $10 plus ammo if you need it. Then pick up your choice of 5 different shooting drills from wild to mild. That's the AccuShoot LFX event happening through the 27th and only at the Glock store, minutes away from the airport. Worth the drive from anywhere.
6 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. ABC News says it's learned days before the statute of limitations set to run out. The new top federal prosecutor in Eastern Virginia set to pursue a grand jury indictment of former FBI Director James Comey. That coming days after President Trump installed her in the role after publicly lamenting the Justice Department wasn't acting quickly enough to pursue certain targets. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy with the story.
Sources tell ABC News that despite her office's recommendations, the newly appointed U.S. attorney in Eastern Virginia is intent on seeking an indictment against the former FBI director for allegedly lying to Congress. James Comey appeared almost exactly 5 years ago before the Senate Judiciary Committee.
So your testimony is you've never authorized anyone to leak.
Appearing remotely, Comey reiterated previous denials as he referred to his former deputy, Andrew McCabe.
Again, I'm not going to characterize Andy's testimony, but mine is the same today.
Sources say acting U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan was told by her staff this week that they couldn't prove a case, but she's still expected to ask a grand jury to approve charges. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
An investigation underway into the deadly shooting at an ICE facility in Dallas. The Department of Homeland Security officials now say 3 detainees were shot, one of them dead. While there's still no official motive for the shooting, the FBI says one of the unspent shell casings recovered at the scene was engraved with the phrase anti-ICE. Here's Aaron Katursky.
The authorities were clear they did not know the specific motive. We're told they now have a name that they are working with. They're digging into this individual's background as we speak, tracing places where the individual may have lived after the shooter was found dead of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound on the rooftop position from which he fired.
FBI Director Kash Patel releasing images of that recovered unspent shell casing that had the phrase anti-ICE. The killer identified as 29-year-old Joshua Jahn, Jahn, which the Hindustan Times reports public records show he was a registered independent who cast his final ballot in November of 2024. And a federal wrongful death lawsuit filed by relatives of the victims of the January mid-air collision between an American Airlines regional jet and an Army helicopter in D.C. Attorney Bob Clifford.
The crash of American Eagle 5342 was predictable, it was preventable, and caused the needless loss of 67 lives on that fateful evening.
Now, the wrongful death lawsuit naming American and the regional carrier PSA, as well as the military and FAA, as being negligent and crowding lots of air traffic into Washington, D.C.'s airspace. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, we've got a crash. Actually, a disabled vehicle. It is blocking the right lane at 24 eastbound at Murfreesboro Pike, and it is bringing everybody to a complete stop before they get around there. 40 westbound at White Bridge Pike, Briley Parkway West got a crash. Another crash, Whites Creek, 24 eastbound at Old Hickory Boulevard North. And then eastbound 24 is complete stop and go past 440. I'm Ken Weaver.
Man, your host is failing all over the place, and I'm here to admit to it and to own up to it and to make it right. It's 7 minutes after 6 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thank you for being around. My name is Matt Murphy, and this is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. That means my name's on the door, and I take responsibility for all things, despite the fact that it truly is Jackson Williams' fault. Action Jackson or Fraction Jackson or Reaction Jackson or J Willie or Y2J, whatever. I mean, he should have clearly told me that I was missing out Ninkapoos in the news, but he didn't. He
didn't want to interrupt a great call.
Actually, I really did appreciate the conversation with Frank, and I was so into the conversation with Frank that I completely flaked out on Ninkapoos. And then I look over at the Super Text line, and people are like, why are you not doing Ninkapoos in the news? And then I look over at Ken Weaver, and he seems to be chomping at the bit. We say chomping on the Matt Murphy Show. I know that Brian Wilson on the drive used to say champing. I know that, but that's just proof that everyone's not perfect, and Brian was wrong at least on that one thing. That said, is everybody ready?
Yes.
Let's do Ninkapoos. I've never asked Ken.
Ninkapoos in the news.
I've never asked Ken Weaver where he is on the champing debate.
I always said chomping.
I did too.
But Brother Brian Wilson is like a walking dictionary.
I know. He makes a compelling argument, doesn't he?
And yes, champing is, I've looked it up.
It's appropriate.
It is appropriate.
Is chomping is it a listed alternative, though? I mean, chomping, it feels like chomping should be right.
It seems like I looked it up, and either one is appropriate.
Is deemed. Okay. That's good. All right. Well, I'm chomping at the bit to do Ninkapoos in the news. Are you ready, Cameron?
I am.
Jackson Williams, are you ready?
I'm ready, Brother Murphy.
I would ask Ken Weaver, but you know what? Weaver stays ready because when you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Oh!
Whoa.
That was a haul.
Oh.
Who won yesterday, Jackson?
Me.
Oh, okay.
No,
Then.
I'm just joking.
No idea.
I think it was me.
You remember the stories?
I think it was me.
No, I think it was Ken.
I can't even. I had the 39-year-old man who pushed the little 7-year-old football player down on the ground.
Yeah, Ken won.
Golly, if I could. That's right, you did.
Yeah.
Okay, Ken,
Well,
you win.
'cause
I
remember
can't even remember what my story was.
The kid probably had it coming.
That's right. We did say that. That you got to learn to toughen up. You little snot nose. Rub some dirt on it and be done. 7 years old. Ken Weaver?
Yes, sir.
You get to go first.
Bettendorf man arrested accused of reckless driving in U-Haul. A Bettendorf man has been arrested after Davenport, Iowa police say he drove a U-Haul recklessly with a person hanging onto the side stop. According to court records, Davenport police responded to People's Mini Storage for a damage complaint involving a U-Haul that struck several fixtures and caught fire on August 18th. The defendant, identified as William Brandel, 38 years old, allegedly drove the U-Haul at a high rate of speed in a private lot with a person hanging on the front driver's side step of the truck, showing no regard for the safety of himself or the passenger. He struck a guardrail and pole in the parking lot, causing $2,500 worth of damage. He did not have proof of financial liability insurance for the vehicle. Brandel fled the scene before officers arrived. Witnesses told police Brandel shouted as he left, "I don't care!"
Checks out.
Oh, well.
A warrant for Brandel was issued on October 22nd And then they arrested him a month later, September 22nd, and charged him with second-degree criminal mischief, leaving the scene of a crash, financial liability violation, and reckless driving.
Wow. A lot of charges. Going to be in a spot of bother there.
He did have clothes on.
He's a nincompoop, that's for sure. All right, I'm going next. I do not believe that we've done this nincompoop story. I am 98% confident. Do any of you recall doing a story about an attacked squirrel? Okay, good.
Oh, I should have used that.
Dude, I can't believe you saw it. You didn't
Son
get
of
it to
a biscuit
it.
eater.
A California squirrel has gone nuts. And neighbors in one town are on the alert. Residents in the town of San Rafael have reported a series of attacks from a vicious brown squirrel that has sent at least 2 people to the emergency room, according to the local Humane Society. Marin Humane, I don't know. That's all. I'm telling you, that's the name of the person. Marin Humane confirmed to ABC News that there have been reported, I guess that is the Humane Society, actually. Marin Humane reported to ABC News that there have been reported attacks from a wild squirrel in the area that might be the result of public feeding. Quote, we've received reports of at least 2 people being attacked by a squirrel in the neighborhood of San Rafael. This behavior is unusual for squirrels and is likely the result of someone feeding it, said Lisa Block, the director of marketing and communications at Marin Humane Society. When wildlife is fed by humans, they can lose their natural fear and they act more emboldened. This is why we remind people that feeding wildlife can have a negative consequence for both people and the animals. The Marin County Sheriff's Office could not confirm the reported attacks when contacted by ABC News, but Joan Heblock was enjoying a peaceful walk through Lucas Valley in San Rafael when the rodent launched itself at her and proceeded to claw and bite her. Quote, it came out of nowhere. I didn't see him running up to me at all. Clamped onto my leg. The tail was flying up there, and the paws are over there. And I was like, get off me, get off me. I didn't want to touch it.
She had moved to California from Alabama.
Obviously.
Correct. Heblock said her injuries were so severe she went to the HR for treatment. Flyers have been plastered around the area warning, attack squirrel beware.
She went to the HR?
She went to the, I meant to say ER. My bad. She went to HR and then
I would
to
like
ER.
to file a
She went to
complaint.
and she filed a complaint with HR. Flyers have been plastered around the area. Attack squirrel. This is my favorite part of the story. This is what the flyer says. The flyer, it's got a big picture of a squirrel on it, and it says, this is not a joke. More than 5 people have been attacked by a very mean squirrel over just the last few days.
A mean one.
Isabel Campoy said she was another victim of the vicious squirrel and was hospitalized from her wounds after coming in contact with the rodent. The squirrel went from the floor and tried to jump up on my face. I tried to protect my face. My arm was completely overcome by squirrel. Finally, it jumped off. But by then, I was full of blood. I run to the emergency room.
Well, that's good if you're full of blood.
I don't.
It's when you're empty of blood is when problems start.
I just want to
Yes,
read.
sir.
Real quick, I want to read this quote one more time. I don't think Ms. Campoy is originally from America, or I don't believe that English is her first language.
Right.
And I only say that because here's the quote, and I'm going to do it without inflection this time.
All right.
Squirrel went from floor, tried to jump up on to my face. I tried to protect face. My arm was completely overcome by squirrel. Finally, it jumped off, but by then I was full of blood. I run to the emergency room.
That's probably what you should do.
Yeah, I mean, if you're full of blood.
I just want to know the
if you're
person.
full of blood, you're fine.
Who developed
That's true.
who developed the flyer? And it's like, no,
Yes.
this squirrel right here. Can you imagine how that goes? Like,
Yes.
no, okay, this squirrel sitting next to me, it's a safe squirrel. The squirrel in the flyer is very clearly.
Have you seen the flyer?
No.
Look at it. Look at that flyer. Now, that's an attack squirrel, man. But I don't know if this is the actual squirrel or not, but that is a dangerous looking squirrel.
And
Right.
and it says it's mean. It's
yeah.
a mean squirrel.
Oh, yes. Attacked by a very mean squirrel, Ken. Very mean squirrel.
So in D.C., the squirrels are huge and they're not afraid of people.
100%.
And they don't usually attack your face, but they will come up to you and
But
no problem.
Let me tell you something. If you go to Washington, D.C., and you enjoy some of the beautiful park and greenery areas in Washington, D.C., take it from Matt Murphy, and I think Cameron is about to confirm this. Under no circumstances should you approach a squirrel and go, they will run up your leg. They take that to mean you want to give them food, and they are not afraid of you, and they want the food that they think you have. Because I thought I was being cute one day, and I was walking through the park, and I was like, look at that big old squirrel. Look at that big fat squirrel. Come here, buddy. On my leg. Immediately on my leg. Ah!
Yeah, they're like dogs.
Frightening. Frightening. All right, that's my squirrel story. Everyone involved in the story, including the squirrel, is a nincompoop. Cameron?
Yeah, this is easy. It's consistent with the Florida man. According to the Walton County Sheriff's Office, a woman called 911 from her Defuniak Springs home with a bizarre story. She woke up around 5:30 to the sound of 40-year-old Elijah Spencer standing next to her bed and mumbling. Naturally, she yelled at him to leave, and he walked out the back door. Police later found that Spencer had left articles of clothing around her home. He'd even opened and eaten multiple prepackaged snacks. She may have.
What kind of snacks?
Just prepackaged those.
Ding dongs.
Ding dongs and fruit snacks.
Yeah.
She may have hoped that he was done with the scary encounter, but he wasn't. The woman later went to her car and was in for a shock. He had not left at all. He was sleeping off his feast in her back seat.
Goodness.
Deputies ordered Spencer out of the car, but he refused. So they pulled him out and charged him with burglary of an occupied dwelling, burglary of an unoccupied conveyance, criminal mischief, and resisting an officer.
So he went from the house to the car.
He's like, I'll just, take a little nap.
Take a little nappy.
Yeah. I got some snacks. Now we're just going to take a nap.
Some of those, when you load up on the carbs, man, it can get heavy on you. You need to, sleep.
Yeah.
Take a little
also
nappy.
the meth and other drugs.
Well,
but
yeah,
carbs too.
Sure. Carbs, meth, reefer, whatever.
I know what he was mumbling. He was like, you got snacks. He's like, you got snacks? Right. And she goes, get out of here. And he's like, okay. I guess they're in the kitchen. And he ate the snacks, and there we go.
Jackson Williams.
All right, we're going to Massachusetts for this one. Shoplifter attempts to swallow baggies of cocaine when confronted by Marlboro PD.
What? You want to do that one again? Was it just me?
Marlboro.
Marlboro?
Like the cigarettes, but it's M-A-R-L, Borough.
That's Marlboro.
That's Marlboro.
Yeah.
At approximately 4:42 p.m. on September 9th, Marlboro Police Department units responded to a target at 605 Boston Post Road East after a report of a shoplifting incident in progress. Target employees reported that two shoplifters, a male and a female, exited the store with over $150 of unpaid merchandise and walked eastbound towards the Starbucks. Both suspects fled on foot, according to documents from the district court. First to Starbucks, then to Nick's Pizza, and then across Route 20 toward the Sheffield Court apartments. The parties were allegedly ordered to stop, but they continued to flee. The male party was reportedly caught, and as he was being arrested, seen stuffing a plastic sandwich bag into his mouth. According to documents, the male also allegedly thrashed his body around multiple times, stomped on an officer's foot, and headbutted another police officer. The suspect allegedly began to chew the plastic bag lodged in his mouth. After multiple orders to spit out the bag, an officer allegedly opened the suspect's mouth and recovered the bag without incident. According to court documents, the baggie contained 4 or 5 bundles of white powder. The bag also allegedly contained a small bundle of blue powder, believed to be fentanyl. The alleged amount of cocaine is 13.8 grams. The Marlboro Police Department noted in the report that it was packaged in different small bundles, making it easier to sell, and the male party didn't have any glass pipes, rolled bills, hypodermic needles, or any other paraphernalia that would indicate these drugs were to be used for personal consumption. The suspect was identified as Taven Haywood. Haywood allegedly stole over $150 of merchandise from Target, including 3 pairs of shorts, 3 T-shirts, 1 champion sweatshirt. And when he told he was being charged for possessing both Class A and Class B substances, Haywood allegedly told officers, "I shouldn't be charged with Class A. It was just coke."
Just coke.
He actually said it this way.
Haywood faces several charges, including shoplifting, conspiracy, disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, assault and battery on a peace officer, possession of a Class A controlled substance, possession with intent to distribute a Class B substance, and tampering with evidence.
That's
it was
awesome.
just coke.
I feel bad for some of these police officers. Like, guys, man, this is. What are we going to charge this guy with? I mean,
a lot of things.
Everything.
Everything. We're just going to do the whole thing
here.
That's exactly.
How much paperwork?
No. I got your out song. Yeah, kill that out song. I got your out song. You just give me some. I got your out song. This is your out right here. You know this song, Jackson? This might be. I might be accused of trying to tilt the vote my way. Is that all you got? Is that all the volume you got over? Give me some more volume.
Ray Stevens is just a legend.
Yes. For survival that broke out in revival. Urban pews and shouting, hallelujah. Mary, holier than you. Remember that? Yeah, that's how we play Ninkapoos in the new Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's the Matt Murphy Radio Show working through the final 30 or so minutes of a Wednesday edition with our good friend Cameron Smith. He writes for the Tennessean, and he joins us on these Wednesdays, and we always love having him. Are we going to be able to record some stuff on Friday, by the way?
Yes.
I should probably ask you this question off the air, but you answered yes, so that's good. So more All the Best Words coming up this week.
Yeah, and life, as is radio, like, they just all blurs together at this point.
I know.
It's kind of weird when we're talking and then there's a lot of people listening, and sometimes we're talking and nobody's listening.
And it's the same type of conversation?
Yeah, we don't really change.
No. Although some of the subject matter is probably not suitable for air right now. As I was, Cameron and I were talking about some of the rumors that are going on in the Greater General Assembly area in downtown Nashville, Tennessee. Cordell Hull, to be more specific.
So I've got kind of a funny story if you've got a second here.
Yeah.
So the Williamson County Schools, particularly the school where my youngest attends for middle school, they have this infraction system, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you get infractions. And these are like, they're pretty nominal. They're not like, this is a big deal. This is like you did a thing that we have to.
Like demerits?
Yes, kind of like demerits. And my youngest, he's very large. He's a very large 11-year-old. And he's very easy to see.
Your youngest has become, if the pictures were any indication, your youngest is like bigger than the rest of them.
Yes. He's 11.
Was he the one on all fours when there was some sort of hose activity going on in your front yard?
Yes.
If you follow Cameron Smith on social media, you've seen this.
Yes.
It's very odd.
He is he's 5'9", 190 pounds, and wears a size 11 shoe. And he's 11, right? Big dude. And so in middle school, he gets seen real quickly. He's not good at hide and seek.
Yeah.
So periodically, thankfully it doesn't happen regularly, but we get infraction notices. And they are not funny. We try to address it with them, but the way that they word them sometimes was he flipped the bird at a kid. I'm like, this is going to be a great story.
What?
And well, Hayden was like, well, a kid turned off my laptop, and then I thought the teacher couldn't see me, so I just hid it behind my laptop. And he's got really big hands too. He didn't hide it behind the laptop, and he got caught. And so, he got an infraction. And so we've been talking about good behavior, good language. He got one for, he said the S word because some kid scared him by his locker, and he goes, beep. And they were like, infraction.
Oh, dadgummit.
And so I appreciate the system where I can learn about what's going on in school, and we can talk about it at home. But
that's funny.
Today's was, I believe it was.
So you get these infraction reports in real time?
In real time, before he comes home. And
so you know.
Right. And so we're going to be like, huh.
So all you saw, that's good. All you see is he flipped the bird.
Right.
And you're like, oh, boy, I can't wait on this. I can't wait on this one.
And we are, as you well know, we're kind of a rough and tumble family. We have kids from all different backgrounds. And so it is, I would love to be like the well-behaved, manicured family, but we're not that.
And you got your kids in the front yard, and you got them, like one of the kids is hosing down the rest of the kids. I don't even know what's going on. I don't want to know.
There was a game. They played a game in the front yard the other day. They called it full contact mini soccer, where they put up two goals about 15 yards apart. And just the goal was, it was like soccer, but you could do whatever you wanted. And
fair.
My neighbors are like, that's normal. It's just the Smiths. It's fine.
Just them.
It's cool.
It's okay. What grade is your youngest in?
6th grade.
6th. Let's say this reminds me of myself in the 6th grade. I was really good at math. I don't know why I've been really good at math over the years, but I am really good at math. It just comes natural to me. I don't particularly care for it, but whatever. And I hated Mr. Henderson, though. And I sat in the back of Mr. Henderson's class. And so Mr. Henderson would regularly write problems on the board. Who knows the answer? Who knows the answer? I thought, I don't promote this, kids, but I thought it would be hilarious to write F-U on my hand. And I did. I wrote it out. And so the kids around me, every time I raised my hand to answer a question, they could see it. And it was small enough that Mr. Henderson in the front of the room couldn't. And so it was just... So you think, oh, Murphy's going to get caught. Oh, I don't get caught in Mr. Henderson's class. And we go to lunch, and I go to Miss Chisholm's class. Loved Miss Chisholm, English teacher. I sat in the front of Miss Chisholm's class. Completely forgot what was written on my hand. I liked answering questions in Miss Chisholm's class, too. Miss Chisholm could see. Straight to the principal's office.
It happens.
It happens.
You get that kind of stuff. Well, that's common in my home where we're dealing with we're working through it, Matt. We're going to be excellent at some point. It's a process. And some of our choices, the common explanation I've gotten recently was, I just wasn't thinking. To which I'm like, when are we going to start? I mean, is that going to happen anytime soon?
At some point in life, are we going to crank that up? The thought part?
And the answer is maybe.
Maybe not.
Yeah,
maybe not.
Kind of where we are.
New name for Jay Willie, Infraction Jackson.
Infraction.
I kind of like that one.
Huh?
Exactly. Oh, look, there was Interaction Jackson. We could go on with these. These are kind of good. It's time for Interacting with Ken Weaver in the newsroom on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Friends Covernash and Shane Ring are here for you. They're local to this community, which is important to me. Oftentimes you hear commercials. I'm not knocking these people. Well, I am knocking these people, okay? Because these are from faraway places. It's a call center somewhere. They work off a script more often than not, and they're trying to sell you a particular insurance product, which means they're ignoring your needs for the sale of that product. They're ignoring the other options in the marketplace for the sale of that product. Shane Ring and Cover Nash, they don't do that. Shane works for you. And when you become his customer, that means he's going to work tirelessly to make sure that he finds the right program and the right insurance for you. And he can shop the entire insurance market. Now, he has plans that are pretty darn cool. One that I've been telling you about, the nationwide PPO plan that has a $250 deductible associated with it. Just ask him about the $250 deductible plan. He'll know exactly the one you're talking about, and he can walk you through it. Whether you feel like you've got good coverage and you just want to make sure, or you don't feel like you got good coverage at all, or if you don't have insurance, call Shane Ring and Cover Nash. Allow him to help. CoverNash.com, CoverNash.com, or 615-465-0023. 465-0023 for our friends at Cover Nash. Call them today. Hey, finish this sentence, Jackson. So, seconds ago, my good friend, Cameron Smith, and I were talking, and I brought up the fact that it is, quote-unquote, hate week for he and I, as it is the Alabama-Georgia
There's only
game.
one hate week. The Alabama-Georgia,
I know.
it's different.
Y'all low down, you dirty, you snitches. That's Alabama people talk about Tennessee people. Yeah, I get it.
That's right.
But it's our hate week, and I said, you know what we ought to do, Cameron? We ought to just drop everything and drive over and get some tickets and go on Saturday. And he kind of looked at me funny. And I was like, except you have 187 kids. He goes, no, it's not that. I want to go, ... And he said it in a way I can finish his sentence. How would you suggest the sentence ends, Jackson? I want to go, but not with you. It's what he's basically saying.
Well, I heard about your trip with Jackson, and that didn't end well for Jackson. So, I mean,
I had a good time.
Well, until you didn't.
He had a good time. I didn't, and I feel like I don't think that people believe it's in my nature to be a good winner or lose. I'm a pretty sore loser. I will admit that I'm a pretty. I just want you to leave me alone.
Oh, I'm quite magnanimous when I'm the winner. I'm like, oh, it was a good game. You did so good at.
Y'all have a great team.
Because in the back of my mind, I'm like, you did great at losing. And so it's real easy to be.
It's actually easier to be legitimately magnanimous when all it was going to take is a 37-yard field goal.
Yeah. 42.
No, it became 42.
Yeah.
It was 37 before the false start.
It was a give me, and then it wasn't.
And and then it wasn't. It was like,
yeah. I think there was a lot of wind in there.
I genuinely believe that Matt would have left me on the side of the highway had Tennessee won.
because I don't think Jackson would have been.
I would not have won with grace.
He would not.
No.
Love the guy, but no.
I mean, there's only so much, how'd you like that, Murphy, in the back seat that I can take before I have to pull over and say.
He would have been like, you got beat by a 12-year-old kicker.
That kid did look young, didn't he?
Yep.
You know, I like the fact that I've gotten to a certain age where when something like that happens to that young man, my first thought is not to laugh at him and make fun of him. My first thought is, man, I feel bad for him.
My first thought was pure agony and rage.
That's fair.
I mean, I guess that's okay.
So in the NL era, I don't feel anymore like I need to be like, well, they're just kids. I'm like,
nope.
No, they're getting paid.
He was talking about his NIL deal the week before.
Was he really?
Yeah.
What's he getting?
He has like a cookie NIL deal, and he was like...
He's getting cookies?
Yeah, he was talking about...
Eating too many of them chocolate chips.
He was talking about his first, playing against whoever they played. I don't even remember who, TSU. And he was like, yeah, we went out for the field goal. I wasn't really thinking about the field goal. I was thinking about the cookies. No cookies the next week.
That works for me until you miss the 42-yarder to win the football game.
But I just don't think – I actually started a column on this. I hadn't finished it. But the idea was, look, we basically have semi-pro now. So I don't feel bad for any of these kids. Like you are in major – if you're in major college football, I'm not talking about folks that are, downstream a bit. But the guys that are in big-time D1 programs, you're getting paid.
Do you think – are all of them getting paid now?
Something, yes.
All of them get some sort of compensation.
Yes.
That's what revenue sharing brought in July.
Okay. So, I mean, above that, maybe not.
Above that, you have to get your own NIL deals.
Yeah. So some of it, think endorsement deals and things beyond that are up to you. But you have the NIL collectives. You have the revenue sharing now with the programs.
Everybody's getting some money.
Like everybody's getting something, right? You don't want your quarterback driving a Lamborghini making $4 million a year and the 5 guys protecting him and keeping him alive. Or not.
They need to be driving trucks.
Right, big trucks. Very nice big trucks.
Nice trucks.
Yeah.
Ones where the radios work.
1984 trucks. 1984 Ford pickup.
A lot of linemen would be fine with that. But the point is, you got to share the love a little bit.
All right, speaking of cookies, I have a story that I want you two to react to. There is a new micro bakery in Nashville. East Nashville, to be specific. You and I might go to see this place.
I'm against it.
Hold on. You haven't heard about it?
I hear the word micro and bakeries, which means tiny sweet goods.
What if I threw the word free?
Oh.
Huh? Dot's Place, owned by Rebecca Kaufman and her husband, William. This is from your publication over there, the Tennessean. Dot's Place, owned by Rebecca and William, supplies multiple coffee shops from around Nashville, in and around Nashville, with homemade cookies, zucchini bread, and lemon bars, as well as other sweet treats. The small business, about 3 years old, but it also operates a pay-what-you-can bakery stand. Kaufman started the stand as an experiment in her driveway near the entrance to the Cornelia Fort Air Park in East Nashville. Neighbors and park visitors loved it, so now the bake stand is located outside of Nelson's Drum Shop on Riverside Drive. Kaufman said people really like the pay-what-you-can concept. The mentality behind it is just to be affordable for every person. Whatever affordability is for you, that's what I want you to pay. The goal is to have repeat customers. Focus of her baked goods, classic, comforting recipes meant to remind customers something that their grandma might have made, including pumpkin snickerdoodle cookies. I don't like snickerdoodles.
They're okay.
Not me. Sprinkle sugar cookies. Those are good. Rice Krispie treats, coffee cake, and chocolate chip muffins. So my question to you, men, how long does the pay-what-you-can micro bakery last in front of the Drum Shop in East Nashville? Your choices are not long at all, probably for a pretty long. Do you think that eventually she will close it down because people will just steal the baked goods?
As long as you have a patron who covers the bill, no, you can keep it open. But that's what it really requires is somebody that's like, you know what?
One person.
Right. I can pay a lot. And so I'm going to, basically subsidize the whole thing.
Yeah, that's what I felt like is that if you had the one person that comes along and throws, $40 in the kitty, whatever the kitty might be. My question was, and I've not really seen how this works, where the money goes. Like, how do you do that? Like, how do you prevent someone from
stealing the money
itself?
Yeah, I mean, if you do not have an anti-theft device, somebody will steal that.
Yes.
And then, but I absolutely look in Nashville. This is not a weird thing. There are a lot of very wealthy people in Nashville that they said, "I like this. I like having it around. I will throw $100 a day in there just because I want it here."
I mean, I appreciate it, and I want to believe in the better nature of human beings. And so I think what we're looking for is a balance. I think what you've settled on is a more realistic balance, that there are a lot of good people. I would like to believe that I would be one of these good people. I am one of these good people where I'll come out and, if I saw this, I'd throw in $10 or more than necessary, to kind of balance it out. It's one of the reasons I tip more than I should is because I know that some people are jerks and they don't. So I'm trying to balance it out.
I've realized in the grand scheme of things that, God's blessed our family well, and we take care of kids that, we weren't born to us. And we do a lot of cool stuff like that because we have opportunity. But I think that's what a lot of people actually are getting into, are kind of saying like, I'm kind of tired of doom scrolling, but you know what? I could buy a coffee for everybody in this coffee shop for less than $100. And I'm going to just do that. Right. I think random acts of kindness and just those moments where you're just like, you know what? I'm going to do a nice thing because I can and I want to, are kind of making a comeback. And I'm actually kind of bullish on
I
that
dig
stuff.
this. I like it. I admit that when I first read the story, I felt like she might be a little bit of a Pollyanna.
Well, of course.
When it comes to what people are going to do with this idea. But treats are delivered fresh to the stand Fridays and Saturdays, beginning at 8 o'clock in the morning. And the best way to keep up to date on the availability is by following the bakery on Instagram at Dots Place Bakery. At Dots Place Bakery. And if you are so inclined, you can go to a couple of the. I'll give them credit because I think this woman's doing a good thing. You can also find her sweet treats at Subliminal Coffee, Week Coffee Company. That's not a good name for a coffee company.
Week?
Yeah, it's called Week Coffee Company. WEAK.
Is
that like a
that's for people that are cooler than us. It's ironic, Matt.
It's like a play on one, like a reverse,
right.
One of those.
Reverse psychology.
Yeah. There's a frothy monkey that was another one.
Golly, frothy monkey.
And I'm like, there's no monkeys there. I was let down.
Frothy or otherwise.
Yeah.
Well, that one's, there's no.
It's like when you call, you call, really skinny people, chubby, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
This is a reverse nickname. Okay. Woodland Play Cafe, Middle Grounds Coffee, Middle Grounds. Now that's pretty cute.
Yeah.
And Forevermore Coffee. So you can find Dots Treats there. Some of the treats she's offering in the fall: apple cider donuts. Okay. All right. I'm listening. Pumpkin chocolate chip bread. I'm also listening.
Yeah.
Coffee cake, sourdough sandwich half loaves, pumpkin snickerdoodle. Nah. Life of a Showgirl Taylor Swift inspired sprinkle sugar cookies.
That's a long name.
You're starting to lose me.
Yeah.
Fruity Pebbles treats. Man, have you ever had a Rice Krispie treat?
We make them.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And you know, have you ever had one of those?
Never brought them in?
Yeah, you can make them with Lucky Charms too.
What?
I've had a Lucky Charms one. It's not as good as you think.
The Fruity Pebble ones.
The
are really
Fruity
good.
Pebble ones are tip top.
Because the cereal for Lucky Charms isn't the good part.
That's true. It's the marshmallows.
When you guys ate Captain Crunch with the berries, did y'all do? I do this with cake too. Can y'all tell we're hungry? I'm hungry anyway. I used to do this with cake where you get a slice of cake, and cake's a treat in and of itself.
Yeah.
But I would eat the cake part of the cake and save the frosting.
Yeah.
So I would carve it out, and it would be a big F, basically.
Yeah.
I would do that with my Captain Crunch berries. So I would eat the brown
well, the yellow things.
Or whatever they are, the brownish yellow
the
ones.
Captain.
Right.
It's pieces of the Captain.
And I would leave the crunch berries for last because that was the best part of the crunch berries.
And it's just differently dyed.
I don't care. Those tasted better.
Do me a favor.
They have a different flavor.
They do.
Oh, 100%.
They do. Walk down the cereal aisle in the grocery right now, and they've completely given. Like, I thought the organics would win out eventually.
Oh, they lost so hard.
They lost.
Have they given up on the cereal?
Yeah, we've run in the opposite direction. We're like, these are lard fried cinnamon bun cereal nuggets.
I don't know.
And they're delicious.
If you go to the Fancy Pants Whole Foods, man, that's all they're serving over there.
They just turned the candy bars into cereal. It's like, this is
Oreo.
Kit Kat, Reese's, Oreo. Like,
Reese's Puffs were awesome.
They're still great.
What, they literally have like candy bar branded cereal?
Yes. All over the place.
Like
There's Kit Kat.
Can we bring back Sugar Smacks then? Because remember,
right,
we used to have Sugar Smacks, Honey Smacks. Jackson?
Honeycomb was one of my favorites.
Honey Smacks.
Honey Smacks used to be called Sugar Smacks. And they made, we were under no illusions.
No one is even trying. This is probably just, I think Trump probably did it. Let's blame him. He just was like, why don't we just have cereal now just be whatever you want it to be? And we're not even going to try to hide that it's unhealthy. And, probably RFK Jr. Like, he's like, got rid of the dyes, but he's like, you know what? Why don't we just call it cookie dough?
Sure. I mean, I think he's fine with
Cookie Crisp.
I think RFK Jr. is fine with any of that, so long as the milk that you put on top of it has not been touched by human hands. It's straight from the teat.
Yep. And there's no Tylenol in the milk.
Have you seen where pregnant women are actively taking
Tylenol
for no reason? How badly do you hate Donald Trump that you would do that?
You need to get off the internet.
Yes.
When you're at the point where you're like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a bunch of Tylenol and put it like.
And I'm pregnant. And
in prior generations, we would have been like, that's a cry for help. We need to intervene.
Right.
But now we're like, oh, it's social media.
You don't have to do what he tells you to do. You don't have to agree with him.
No.
Just you could just not do it.
You tweeted out with Tylenol. It's like, we don't recommend you take a product when you're pregnant.
Right. And they were saying that back in 2017. All right, got to go for 53 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Waco has written in and says, hey, Matt, did you eat your Captain Crunch with tweezers? Sir or ma'am, Captain is not spelled out. Thank you. That is my response to your jerky text. Captain, not Captain. All right. I will say this at Savory Spice, and there's a related story here. Holly and David at Savory Spice have provided these two delicious things to my household, and I can't get enough of either one of them. One, the maple syrup sprinkle. You heard me correctly. It's like maple syrup, but it's in a sprinkle. I mean, I think the name kind of says it all. It is absolutely fabulous. And I would strongly advise, if you like Brussels sprouts, cut them in half, put them in the oven, and put some maple syrup sprinkle on there. And if you've ever had Brussels sprouts out with honey, this maple syrup sprinkle caramelizes, and it is delicious. Number two, the salted caramel sprinkle, which is good on everything. That is the end of that sentence. It's good on everything. You can find these two flavors right now at Savory Spice. Plus, of course, pumpkin spice. It's pumpkin spice season. It's maple syrup season. It's salted caramel season at Savory Spice. They've got all the delicious fall flavors that you know and love. They've got them at Savory Spice. They've got something for everyone. They've got something for the cook in your life. They've got something for the guy or gal that likes to eat in your life. And you just need to stop by. I like to say it's time to up your food game, and you up your food game by upping your spice game. And you up your spice game at Savory Spice.
I'm Pastor Alan Jackson. I'm excited to invite you to join me for my brand new show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Every Sunday night from 7 to 8, I'll be talking about the week's news and headlines, but through a biblical lens. Together, we'll look at what's happening in our world and how God's Word can guide us through it. Join me, Pastor Alan Jackson, Sunday evenings at 7 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And you can listen on iHeartRadio and tune in.